first life. There's a lot of there's a lot of opportunities out there that YouTube can put you on the path to some of these other big ones. I don't know if that's what I would want to do. I'd like to see what the numbers are. I've heard about people getting screwed by that, but I'm not going to say that's not a dream to have a show on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I screwed up on something here. Hold on one second.
That was me. I'm having to mute the YouTube window.
Gotcha. I'm halfway through sharing this out, and then you went live, and I was like, damn it, I forgot to share it. Let me see if I can finish this right now.
I'm copying and pasting myself.
Cool.
Twitter is
great start. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. I've never done this like this late, so.
Nobody in here yet, so.
All right. Do you ever edit these after the fact?
No.
Do you leave them live?
Sometimes, unless I don't think they're the ones that went well, or I got a lot of laughs, or I think people might enjoy a rewatch. I'll just leave up on the channel. Some of the ones, if the cursing got out of hand, or if I think there's something that YouTube might hold against me or hurt me for, I'll unlist.
I got you.
Most of them I leave live though, especially if it's somebody that if I've had a guest. No offense, bigger than you.
Yeah.
Actually, yours is still live.
I'm comfortable with where I'm at.
Your first one to get you to 1,000 subscribers is still up on my channel.
Yeah, nice. I show up. I've done like searches for myself here and there on different things. I forget what for. I don't remember if it was like Social Blade or Google or whatever it was, but that always the live stream with you always pops up with my name on it.
Yep, because your name's in the title.
Yeah. So you got your SEO for there. I was also going to say
something. Good evening. Thanks for coming on in, man.
Howdy.
But yeah, I got some SEO on that one. We'll talk about that some tonight too. Anybody in the chat? Because that's me and you. Something just blew in my ears. I don't know if it was on my end or your end.
Oh, I just turned down a phone call. That might have been my end. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. These headphones are pretty good, I guess.
Man, no kidding. I didn't even hear it. I just saw the pop up.
Make your phone vibrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's on vibrate. Why the...
Hey, Grant. Good to see you, buddy.
What's up, Grant?
Grant's a YouTuber, so he might appreciate some of tonight's chat.
Yeah, Grant. Yeah, we're going to be talking about YouTube stuff, just kind of venting and enjoying ourselves, and you know how that goes. I appreciate having you in here, Grant, because you're one of those guys I hold at a pretty high level. Appreciate your opinion. That dude has seen more of the back-end YouTube problem stuff than any other person I've ever known.
That dude is the reason I have a P.O. box.
Yeah, exactly right.
I'm like, seriously? Like, I was like, who in the hell's got a problem with Grant McIntyre sitting here talking to his cell phone?
I don't know where my volume, there it is.
You catching any, Grant? Paranormal, you two? Anybody catching any lately? It's been ungodly hot here.
Yeah, a little warm down here too. And we got our tropical storm coming in now.
We've had over 80% humidity 19 of the 24 days of July.
Ooh.
It's been it's been up to 95 19 of the 24 days of July. Grant, I don't understand me either. I'm like, really? What did Grant do to piss you off? You know? You don't like earthworms? Something triggers you about earthworms or something?
All right, I had to go get some alcohol. Get going ready for this. I have no idea how I'm going to do this and cook dinner. We're doing steaks, and I don't even have any charcoal right now, but we'll figure it out. Boy, tired. So, anyway, we were talking YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. There was something. Oh, yeah, live streams. So, I wanted to say something, what I learned about that. And again, let me know your thoughts if you've heard anything like this, because you got a different, I like this. We have different like people that we've talked to. And that's kind of what the point on this was, is we kind of wanted to break down the information that you got and the information I got. And I'm kind of curious now your thoughts, having done that, live streams. There's some back and forth as to leaving them live or unlisting them or deleting them or whatever people want to do. And why would you do that? What I was told is, and I see this one, like yesterday, I made the classic faux pas, the thing you're just not supposed to do. I posted a video yesterday morning, and then I did a live stream last night. 6 months ago, a year ago, I would have slapped myself for doing that. And I wouldn't have known why you're not supposed to do that. Now, what I did was I made the live stream immediately unlisted. But the reason being is because YouTube likes that newest video that you put out. When you do a live stream, that live stream is the newest video. So that's going to be the thing that is going to be getting the most impressions. People don't typically watch live streams as much after they are no longer live. So it's a waste of impressions, and you basically just buried your last video.
That's the most valid point I've ever heard about it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I've got, well, a lot of them are old enough now, but I might actually need to unlist some live streams then. And not only that, but I think it also gives the impression, especially if you do them quite often, like, well, we used to do them more often back, winter's here and everything.
Yeah, but, a year and a half ago, there was a different landscape.
Right. And I think live streams are another thing, like, now during the time of Corona, they're kind of making a comeback because it's how people communicate. But it's another thing, their time has come and went. You know what I mean? Like I don't disagree with that. It was a trend that went away.
Yeah.
And a prime example of that is actually a bigger YouTuber. The first fishing YouTuber I ever subscribed to. He used to do live streams back with the Goo Gun Squad before there was ever a Goo Gun, and that's
Jeff.
And that's Gene Jensen, Fluke Master.
Mm-hmm.
He does Friday Night Live every night, and that's mostly what's on his channel now. And his channel. Maybe I'm being overly critical here. His channel's better than mine, obviously, and he probably forgot more about bass fishing than I'll ever know. But I would say my enjoyment of his channel now compared to my enjoyment of his channel 5 or 6 years ago, I'm like, this sucks. You know what I mean? It's like you made no changes. You made no changes to go with. He went full time and made no changes to go with the times, and now everybody's left his channel behind.
Yeah, I've seen some of that. And I've seen the other side of it too, where one of the guys that got me into YouTube, like the guy that basically did that, he was... Bad evening, man. Appreciate you joining us. We're talking YouTube tonight, just kind of hanging out and having a discussion about it. The guy who basically single-handedly got me into YouTube was one of those guys where he got super niched, where he was playing video games. He was a gamer, and he played a video game that I enjoyed watching, and he had the personality that I enjoyed watching playing that video game. And it was 2016. And I didn't have AC in the house. So in the summer, we had one bedroom with a window unit. And in the heat of the day, you just had to go in there and lay in bed. We all did. The whole family did. Didn't have a TV in there. So I just watched YouTube, got into this guy. That's how I got my start. But he got niched on that game, one single game. And it blew him up. 150,000 subscribers over the course of a couple of months. And he burned himself out on that game. And now I've been blessed to have had the opportunity to talk to him a couple of times, and I kind of learned from him a few things. And now, but he's doing stuff that is totally different. And it took him twice as long to grow a second channel so that he could get away from that other content. Yeah, we've seen other guys in our community who kind of did the same thing. I don't like calling out names, but we've seen that happen where people did that one video that blows up for that one thing, and then they get kind of stuck. Opposite of the, the opposite trend of the guy who doesn't change his ways for 10 years and doesn't adapt to to a new landscape, which is why I like live streams. Personally, I'd like to see, some of those other guys we enjoy, like Robert Arrington. I wish they would do more live streams. But at the same time, I don't wish they would, because that's something that, if I were to make it, having live streams as part of my thing is something that's going to separate me from them.
Right. Right. And it's also another one of those double-edged swords. It helps and it hurts being a part of these live streams. Like I blew up I went from 800 to 1,000 like that when you needed 1,000.
I don't remember 400. I don't remember 400 at all. I went from 400 to 500 over the course of like a week.
Right.
Thanks to Grant and you, I believe.
Right. Well, that's back when we were all trying to hit that 1,000. Right? And then a lot of people went into the Pusa, I call them out, Pusa Studios. They went into that, and you got subscribers out of it. But they weren't organic. The people weren't watching your videos, so it helped you with subscribers, and it damaged your watch time and your content.
And those are probably people who did that really hard, unfortunately. And we had our groups, and we were all learning together. And for some of us, we all have suffered the ramifications of some of our growth strategies 2 years ago. Not anywhere near as bad as some of those guys. Some of those guys that, like some of those guys, I'm not going to lie, that are in the 5,000 to 10,000 range today as a result of those growth streams that were happening a year and a half ago. Take a look at their view counts. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm not going to throw out names, but some of them, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah. Adaption is key. Yeah, it is. But it's adaption within a market. Stanley brought up niches a while ago, and niche is a good word, but YouTube is a very narrow focus. So if people know you for something, that's what they come to your channel for.
Yep.
So like nobody comes to my channel to watch me play Fortnite. And if I ever did that, I wouldn't get a damn view. It would kill me. Blue collar fishing, what the hell is this guy playing Fortnite for? You know what I mean? Just as an example, I've never played Fortnite. My sons play it. Not anymore, he says. But anyway, just as an example, Fortnite blew up in the gaming community like last year. So some people hit this trend, even if it wasn't, and they got views out of that because they hit the SEO. And then people came and go, this guy's not a gamer. What do I want to watch this guy for? Or etc. So YouTube is a very narrow focus. All right. Your audience is a very narrow focus. People come to my video to see fishing. That's because that's my name. So they come to see fishing videos. And I've noticed the ones that are vlogs, I'll get hits here and there, but they don't do so well. Or I noticed the ones that are, and what's even sadder is the ones like my kids go fishing with me or whatever, if they're in the thumbnail, they don't do so well. Because people don't register my kids as blue collar fishing, they register me as blue collar fishing.
I gotta say, if I really, I will not lie. When we go out fishing, and I've got Rachel with me, I prefer if she catches the fish of the day, because her in the thumbnail is going to sell that video more than I am.
Okay, there is an exception to that. There's an exception to that. Another person being in the thumbnail.
Now, I've had thumbnails where the two of us are in it, and I don't have like any data to support anything, but I can think of at least one recently where that just didn't work, having the two of us. And that might not, it might not have been because of that, but I do think of, I have one specifically I can think of those like that one did not work.
I think it's also a matter of that it's busy. Most people in this day and age consume YouTube on their, I don't know about you, but I mean, you do all your YouTube on a phone, so this is definitely probably true for you.
There's
most of my views and my analytics, YouTube is consumed via mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And on a mobile device, you know, I have an S9. 9 inches is a massive phone compared to what they used to be now, but still it's a 9-inch screen. So the line of thumbnails is only going to be about that big, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a very small image that you're packing all that into. People are going, what is it? You know?
And you got to keep it simple. You're totally right about that. And you know, I tried to, when I first started, my thought on it was, my approach was, I was looking at what other people were doing, and they were posting these fairly generic looking pictures of the fish that they were catching. I was like, you know, those ones that everybody had prior to cell phones, they were just a stupid looking picture of that fish you caught. And I was like, man, I can beat this. Like, I know I can beat those thumbnails. So the first thing I was like, man, I found an app on my phone that I can put text on a picture. Game freaking changer in my mind. I thought, this is it. This is night and day different. So I started slapping text and just doing all this creative. You go back and look at my old thumbnails and they look dumb because I was trying to cram so much stuff into them. And now you look at the stuff that I do. I just recently, last week, I posted a video that was just a picture of the tails of some fish that, in all honesty, we didn't even catch. It was just a cool looking picture of some fish tails. And that's all covered in the video. That's all part of the story of it or whatever. But man, that thumbnail blows all those old ones I did with all the flashy text and all the, you know, the color corrections and stuff I did on them. That one thumbnail just blows them all out of the water. That was just the wrong approach. Flashy text and all the bright colors and stuff like that. Bright colors help, but man, that text did nothing for me. And you see a lot of people doing that now, where it's just a really good looking photograph sells the thumbnail.
Yeah. I've seen a lot more people go further and further away from the text in their thumbnail. And if they do have text, it'll be one word and it's never more than 4.
And subtle. I agree with that. Have you seen, okay, I don't like this. I've seen people do this in the past. It's cute, but I don't like it. And now Deer Meat for Dinner is doing it. And it kind of, I look at it and I'm just like, why are you doing this? That he does the thumbnails where he is superimposing images, where he'll take like, like a rooster fish. And he's holding this big rooster fish, and then he superimposes the head of an actual rooster on it to make it look weird.
Yeah, that one didn't. I know which one you're talking about. I think he actually ended up taking that down, didn't he? Because it didn't perform as well as he thought it would. But
I saw him do that a couple of times with like the snakehead eel, and he put the rattlesnake head on it.
Yeah,
He stopped. He did that like 2 or 3 times, and then I didn't see it anymore. But man, when I saw it, I was just.
And I think it hurt his views too. Heavy Stringers just got back from. All right, let's get to some comments. Just got back from Matagorda Bay. A lot of dinks, but had a blast. Storm made the water very choppy.
Nice.
Yeah, the weather up here has been. We've had thunderstorms every evening because of the heat wave. The ones where I have put a comic feel to it has gotten way more attention than the others I've done.
I hate that. I can't. Nothing against you. Do what you do. Do it. We've talked about this before. And thank you for coming and hanging out with us. No. I'm sorry. I thought that was Heavy Stringers saying that. Pond Predator. My apologies. I've talked to Heavy Stringers about thumbnails like that. I don't like them, and no offense to you on that. That's just a personal preference. I have been told 1,000 times to do that, and I'm just like, nope, not me, not my style. I don't like it. But from everything that I've seen, it absolutely works. You know, people do that.
I see it back and forth. Like, All right, partner, this is going to sound mean, and I really don't mean for it to be. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this. You say the ones that
Just go ahead and give him the thumbs down now.
Don't care at all. Thumbs down have never bothered me.
Yeah, me neither. I don't even look at that.
I don't even know what's there because I'll let you in all on a little secret. YouTube, the algorithm. It's not just some guy in a box seeing who likes and doesn't like your video. It's a software algorithm. And the software algorithm of YouTube, maybe they don't want you to know this, but the software algorithm of YouTube sees absolutely no difference in a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It's still engagement with your video.
Yep. Yeah, that is exactly right. It's all positive.
The algorithm of recommending your video makes no difference in thumbs up and thumbs down. Whether more people hate it than like it, it's interaction. It's like, oh, a lot of people hate this. Let's recommend it to people so more people can hate it. Or a lot of people like this. Either way, they're going to recommend it to more people. And
I was go ahead, finish. I got something that's tangent.
Load 2 videos that are exactly the same, but give one the thumbs down, and that video with the thumbs down will be ranked higher than the video with nothing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, I went off. Okay, so if you want to give me the thumbs down, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. However, Pon, you said the ones where you have a comic feel to it has gotten more attention. And maybe because that stands out more. So my question would be, is the ones that don't have a comic feel, have they gotten any attention?
And let's see, he's all about the picture, giving away the fun. That's a fine line you got to read with that. Because, like, if you catch a monster redfish, you want that monster redfish in your thumbnail because that's going to attract viewers. But at the same time, there's not going to be anything surprising about that. That is the age-old YouTube question of thumbnails, I think. Got no answers on that.
I stopped doing that all about the only thing about, like, when Deer Meat, we were talking about him, and actually met Robert Arrington. That video, yeah, shameless plug. I've got a video with Robert Arrington in it. You want to go find it? So
you should re-edit that video and repost it.
Yeah, I should. Especially after
throw some of his stuff in there, you know.
There is a lot of things. You know, I have a real job, so that's a little. When I get to, I just did 2 things today. Anyway, let me finish my thought before I go on 50 different subjects. They have been getting attention, but not as much. Okay. And I'm saying this, Pon, because my 2 biggest videos, I've got 2,000 viewed videos. My views come because I've pumped out a lot of content. So I've never, like, Stanley's got videos that have hit 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. He's gotten views on one. He's gotten good results on one video. My results come because I've made 140 videos. So, you know, there's 2 ways. Well, don't get me wrong. I want 20,000 video views in a day or a week or whatever. That's what I'm striving for. So I'm saying this to you. The comical ones probably stand out because your other stuff isn't getting attention.
Yeah, and I would also say that I think a lot of people do this by accident, especially with stuff like your comic thumbnails. But one thing that I do, I make it a point, and I totally nailed this on a video last year that is now the highest performing video on my channel. And it is the highest performing video because of this one thing that I did that I suggest everybody do. When you make a video and you upload that to YouTube, what my process is I make my video, I edit it, I do the whole thing, and then I upload it to YouTube, and then I make a thumbnail based on the finished product that I just uploaded. So before I do that, I'm obviously doing my, TubeBuddy keyword research and all of that fun stuff, but I will also go and think, I sit back and I think to myself, okay, what is this video? What are people looking for when they're looking for this video? I basically get on YouTube and I do a search for my video, which hasn't existed yet. What are people looking for? What are they typing in? If it's a big bull red, I do my research and I figure out my keywords, and then I do a search for big bull redfish at the beach. And I see what everybody else is doing for thumbnails. Last year, we went to Canyon Lake, and you can see this video on our season 2 playlist. You see exactly what I'm talking about. We went to Canyon Lake. I made the whole Canyon Lake video, and it didn't perform very well. But in making that video, I uploaded it, and I went to make that thumbnail, and I did a search for Canyon Lake fishing. Every single picture, every single thumbnail for every single video in like the top 20 search results for Canyon Lake was this green water and blue sky. Really pretty pictures. Green water, blue sky, green water, blue sky. Every single thumbnail was the exact same thing, just a different variation of the same picture. I did the search before I went to Canyon Lake is what I did. Before I went to Canyon Lake, and I wore a red t-shirt. That was the first time I'd worn a red t-shirt. And that, if you search for Canyon Lake or Canyon Lake fish, I think it's just Canyon Lake, I'm ranked number 1 for that search term. And if you look at those search terms, those thumbnails, every one, green and blue, and I'm the guy with the red t-shirt, and it stands out. I have 24% retention on that video. It's one of the worst performing videos I've ever done. Best performing video on the channel for the last year as a result of that red t-shirt in the thumbnail. Do a search for your video. Before you do, check out the other guy's thumbnails and do something that's different. Do something that is going to pop out against the rest of the guys.
I think I've got to retitle it because there's a lot of competition in the title.
I've had that issue too. Yeah.
So I think I've got to retitle it and find some more words. But
heavy stringers, that's awesome.
The thumbnail wise, because I have the TubeBuddy and the vidIQ, and I've run it through the thumbnail comparer software or whatever. Thumbnail wise, that one you just helped me on is a prime example of that. My second to last video, I got to redo the thumbnail of my last video. I had to just take a screenshot and get my video uploaded for Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a custom thumbnail for it. Now I've got to go make one. And it honestly, its results are in the tank. But that one
was
you
mine yesterday.
Yeah, that one you helped me with, where we made that red background. Mm-hmm. Even Zach Fowler went, that jumps right out to me.
That's right. That's right. You and I have talked about that.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
We'll get to that too. Me and Stanley have both taken some classes, and I'm taking one now, and Stanley's taking some classes and some video conferencing with bigger YouTubers to kind of help us along here. Like, for the people.
Yeah, we got some.
The people.
I'm really, really curious to see what Zach says.
Yeah.
I'm curious what his thoughts are.
We'll get to that. So yeah, but that is one of the things he said too. You compare the thumbnail. You want Zach says the thumbnail is the most important thing.
Yeah. I disagree, but I have zero argument with that comment.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think they go hand in hand, but I think the title's how you get found, and the thumbnail's how you get watched.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I don't know where you draw the lines, but to me, it's stellar video. You know, I'd like if you had the Lord of the Rings trilogy with a subpar thumbnail, I think that would do well. I think that would, that's going to perform not as well as if it had a great thumbnail, but it's still going to perform. That's a high quality product. If you had produced the Lord of the Rings trilogy and that was one video for you, that thing's going to produce. But obviously, if you have a good thumbnail, it's going to produce more. So it's high quality video, and by high quality, I don't mean 4K 60 FPS. I mean engaging storyline, something that's valuable and some, you know, engaging and something that people want to watch. Then obviously a good thumbnail, and then like everything else is kind of like a distant third.
Hey, let me ask you a question now. Like I put it in the description, you know, freshwater and mean saltwater view, because that's what we do. We're fishing YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself now as a fisherman who YouTubes or as a YouTuber who fishes?
Yeah, that is a crappy question. I am a YouTuber who fishes. I am more skilled at YouTube than I am fishing.
I'm not skilled. I'm not that skilled at either.
And Rachel is directly behind the camera, and she is disagreeing with this. She says that we fish and we do YouTube as a hobby. So,
yeah, but a fish is a hobby too. Nobody's ever paid me to fish.
Yeah.
And
I don't. Yeah. See, and that's just it. Like, I don't know where the definite answer on this is. I know where the answer lies is that you had all those guys for all those years doing it on like public access TV, and they were fishermen who had TV shows. And now with YouTube, there's a little bit of a battle, or at least there was, you know, a couple years ago, where the old TV guys were hating the YouTubers because those guys were professional fishermen. The YouTubers were YouTubers who like to fish and just, you know, sprouted out by the millions and started drowning out the professionals like weeds. And now where are we left? You know, those guys are all kind of, you know, moving over to YouTube. Like Bill Dance, he has like a YouTube channel, right?
Yep. So
Mike.
And yeah. Roland Martin.
Yeah, exactly. So now everybody's kind of jumped ship to the YouTube thing.
Scott Martin YouTubes with the Goo Gun Squad.
Yeah, really. I don't know some of these names. Some of them I know, but I don't know everybody. But I'm familiar with the, local knowledge is one that I'm like a fan of. And same thing, saltwater guys who have a TV show on Discovery or something like that. And they have a YouTube channel and they do it poorly. I love those guys, but they do it poorly.
Scott Martin does YouTube pretty well. I'll give him that. I mean, he's got... Here is one of the unfair advantages these guys have. They've got editors and camera.
Hey, Mr. Sealer.
Hey, Sealer, how's it going? Hey, Ed. They've got editors and cameramen.
Highly produced.
Professional equipment. It's highly produced. They can hire people who know about YouTube, tags, titles, algorithms, SEO. So they come into this with an advantage. While I will give like I know that you were saying a while ago that flack between the new YouTubers and the old anglers or whatever. The ultimate respect I give those kids. I call them kids. They're all younger than me. They're grown men now. But, you know, when they started, they were all kids. John B was like 15 or 14 when he started filming himself fishing. So, but the ultimate respect I give those kids is they have figured out a way to take a hobby in their backyard and turn it into a living that has made them all millionaires, and they never have to punch anybody else's clock. And
that is the goal. That is what we are all trying to do.
And anybody that tells you differently is lying to you.
Yeah. I think that there's some people that are out there and they're actually enthusiasts. They're doing it for fun, and I respect that more than anybody else. I'm not going to lie. I respect that guy, but I'm also not going to lie. I am not that guy. I am trying to do it professionally.
I'm going to say I'm the guy that's doing it both, and I would rather get paid to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why everybody's got a qualm. Hey, Rattle Trap Fishing, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Rattle Trap?
I don't get why everybody's got a qualm. Oh, this guy's getting paid. Okay. Bully for him. Tell me how. You know? Honestly.
It gets comical sometimes.
If we could go back in time and we could be that age, coming out of high school, and somebody said, hey, I know how you can become a millionaire going fishing and fucking off with your buddies. Oh, excuse my language. I know.
Hey, I got something about that right there. You are not in the first 30 seconds of your video. You're okay to cuss.
Good to know. But I'm going to unlist this anyway because of what we said earlier in the thing. It damaged it. Well, I've got an upload that came out this week, so it's going to drown my video. No offense, buddy. Love you.
No, I understand. I respect that.
And the one that you helped me with is still growing, so it'll damage that one too.
There comes a point where you got to just throw analytics and numbers aside and just be, numbers be damned. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. That video is it's either going to perform or it's not. And yeah, I believe 7 days is the time frame. Well, there's multiple time frames. There's the 1 hour. And you can look in your analytics. When you post a video, you'll see it. You'll see what it did for the first hour, how YouTube is showing out with browse and channel pages. And then for the first 24 hours, you're going to see your suggested and search higher. And then it's like clockwork. Right after the 24-hour mark, suggested dies. It just drops. It disappears, if it's not a performing video. Actually, and the same thing happens for like the 7-day time frame, the 21-day time frame, 90 days. And for whatever reason, my videos have a tendency of popping after 140 days. I've had it happen a half a dozen times.
Well, do you guys ever catch blue crabs? I live in a landlocked state.
Yes. So. Love blue crabs. Yes, we do that. I haven't done a video on it, though.
So when lockdown's over or Corona's over and we can all go back to our normal lives, hopefully, maybe like 2027 now. And me and Stanley finally, please do video. Cool. Me and Stanley finally get that collab that we've been trying to do for a couple of years in. Maybe we'll do a video there.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up in Florida or something and get this done. We've been talking about it for damn near 2 years now. Yeah, Donald, good to meet you, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Hit the wrong button again next time. Stanley, get back momentarily. That's the second time tonight. Hit that wrong button. Let's see what we got in the chat. Awesome. Welcome back. Hit the wrong button.
Yep, again.
Just come on to Kentucky.
I've got all these little X's for chat and stuff.
I don't know about Stanley, but I have actually fished Kentucky Pond. And yeah, I would come back. Me and you can go. I've
never gone to Kentucky.
Got some of the best crappie fishing in the world.
That's all I needed to hear. We just got back from Wisconsin. Well, I'm talking about this, like for 2 weeks now because we got back 2 weeks ago. But we've got our videos. I got several videos on Wisconsin. It's going to be a whole series of them I'm putting out starting on Monday. Eye-opening experience. It was gorgeous. That was. I don't do freshwater fishing. I especially don't do it well. And man, that was such a wonderful experience getting up there. I got into all of the things I hear all of you guys talking about, and I had a blast.
It's fun. But yeah, crappie, what'd you catch there? Crappie, yellow perch, walleye?
I got one of each. Let me see. I did not get a walleye, but we caught them. I just didn't get into any of them. But I caught so many firsts. I got my first pike. I got my first panfish, my first bluegill, crappie, smallmouth bass, and perch. The first time I'd caught any of those species.
I caught all those species. I've never caught what do y'all call them? The flounder. You all call them flounder or fluke?
That's a tough one. Yeah, flounders. I have a hard time getting into those guys. I don't fish for them. I spear them. Heavy stringers. If you're still here, I was talking about going out gigging with him.
Walleye is like that elusive fish to me. I know. They keep saying we have them in Pennsylvania. I've seen people on YouTube catch them in Pennsylvania. I've seen them in thumbnails. But I'll be damned if they ever make an appearance for me,
White bass, striper. I got my first hybrid. And yeah, gigging. We're going to be I was just thinking about that the other day. Might need to make that happen sooner rather than later because I'm hungry for some flounder. Been a long time since I've done that.
You say hybrid, you mean a wiper? White bass striper?
Yeah, that's what they kept calling them, was the wipers. Yeah.
Gigging baby. Okay. Ohio best fishing. Ohio best fishing. I say the fishing's good in Ohio, but best fishing.
I got to vouch for Wisconsin. We were killing it up there.
Minnesota's got good fishing too.
Mm.
Especially the further north you go. I fished what's that lake between Minnesota and Canadian border? They share the lake, Lake of the Woods. Lake of the Woods. That is a healthy fishery. It is one of the few lakes in the world you can go within 20 feet of each other in some places. You can limit out on perch, move 20 feet, limit out on crappie, move 20 feet, limit out on walleye, move 20 feet, limit out on trout, move 20 feet, you know?
Mm-hmm. You know, that's a funny one.
That's a healthy freshwater fishery.
We when we were doing the Wisconsin thing, and that was kind of a new one to me. Well, I mean, everything about it. I did my first trout fishing trip and everything, but one of the things is we kept going to Lake Monona in Madison, which is a lake by all accounts. It's very similar to the lakes that I have around here. You know, a little bit muddy water. There's not a lot of water clarity. It's calm. I don't know how to describe it. It's a lake. But then we caught a lot of our fish over there. But then we took a day and we went fishing at Black Hawk Lake. Is that right? Yeah. So it was Lake Black Hawk. And super clear water. And it was an hour away, super clear water, but it was kind of a different style of fishing that day, you know? Really, really intriguing that you could drive an hour away and the fishing would be so different. The conditions would be so different.
I had to move up. I was feeling inferior. I know you're probably taller than me, Stanley, but I didn't want everybody else to know that. Do you fellas have charter boats? No, I do not. I actually don't have a boat. And we'll get into it right now, actually, since we're kind of on YouTube and fishing and everything's going on in the world. I've been looking at kayaks for the past 3 weeks, and it's like it is damn near gone extinct. There is not a single retailer up here that has anything left. None. I called 3 Pelican stores today, right? I've called like 4 or 5 different manufacturers. Not 4 or 5 stores. I've called like 20 stores, but 4 or 5 that retail for different manufacturers. I called all the Old Town retailers. Nothing. They said, nope, we're out of inventory. Don't expect any until like December. I called Pelican. Pelican says won't be till next year. I called Bonafide. Bonafide doesn't have any. I called one more retailer up here. I forgot who it was. Hobie. Hobie is out. Hobie costs $5,000 and they don't have any damn retailer. Not that I called Hobie. I called Hobie just out of curiosity to see if they were experiencing the same thing as everybody else, and yeah, they are. I would never ever spend $5,000 on a floating piece of plastic.
So I'm assuming this is like a panic buy thing that people are doing because of the pandemic. They're going to like feed their families off their kayaks now.
Well, I think part of it is a lot of people bought them this year because like outdoor exercise and recreational activities is one of the few things you can do. Like movie theaters are still closed. Nobody's making. Matter of fact, nobody's making new TV. There hasn't been a new TV show recorded because they all they're non-essential. But that's what. Excuse me. The retailer said what happened is the kayak manufacturers were deemed non-essential and all got sent home. So they sold all their inventory, and now nobody's made anything to replace it.
Gotcha.
So there's a shortage.
So we should all be out there making stuff right now.
Yeah. They are the Cadillac of kayaks, and they are wiped out, and it is kind of sickening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kayak, don't get me wrong. Hobie is an incredible product. I will give Hobie all the credit in the world. Hobie is an incredible product, and they did come up with that Mirage drive that like a
Yeah.
penguin. They invented that, and I give them credit for that. It was a great invention. They're an incredible product. They're incredibly stable. They're also heavy as heck, and so they're really hard to car top. And there is not a world where I can justify to my wife spending $5,000 on a kayak.
I've been looking for boat motors from. I've got a John boat that we just need a motor for it, and I need a little 15 horsepower motor. I can't find one to save my life. I've been looking for years. I'm still looking. We're talking about it. There's issues going on with that, but I mean it's been a real pain. And one of the problems that I've faced with it is that the motor costs like $1,500 to $2,000, but it's like $2,500 for a new boat with a motor. You know.
Well,
And that's so that those prices for a John boat with a motor, I look at that and I compare that to the $5,000 Hobie, and I'm just like, why? Why would I do that? I'd like to, but I can't justify that.
that's also exactly my reasoning on it. I can't justify the Hobie kayak because I'm like, you can build a pretty nice John boat for $5,000
Yeah,
with an outboard, a trolling motor, build a live well, and a fish finder, and a trailer.
you'll be able to carry more people. You'll be
Yep.
able to travel farther and catch more fish.
Yep. Wait and buy one when everybody goes back to school and work. They will be cheaper. I don't think they will because nobody will have one.
I wonder how many people are going to be sitting laid off for 6 months or something, and they're going to have to start selling them to pay their bills.
Now that may be something.
I tell you what, one thing I've done in the past is, and I've always got my eye out for this, but it's been a few years, but I've done it. Where down here in Texas, we have a contingent of people who enjoy surfing down the beach. I'm one of them. I love surfing, and what I always see is like in the spring, it's impossible to find a surfboard for sale. They're all super expensive. You can't find them. But wait until winter when the surf is actually better. It's better in the winter. In the wintertime, all of those kooks that went out and bought surfboards in the spring, or rather the spring the year before, a year and a half later, they're like, dude, I'm never going to use this thing again. It's Christmas time. I need my money for Christmas presents and, stuff like that. And they sell their surfboards and they sell them for like half price. It's a seasonal thing. And I wonder if kayaks don't kind of follow a similar trend.
Ponds, the ones that bought them with their stimulus, that is a good point. And,
Yeah, it is.
Maybe it was my poor upbringing. For those of you who don't know, I did. I grew up dirt poor. I am from the dirt. But we got the stimulus too, and I thought about it. I'm like, man, this is a kayak, but also this is a pretty scary unknown time in the world today. I don't know what's going to happen. So we did what the responsible and smart thing with that. We threw it in the bank and left it alone. Like, I don't need it now, but I might later.
One thing I did, and I suggest everybody do the same. I would suggest it. Do what you're going to do, but I'm not a financial advisor, but I do suggest it. I took every penny that we made on YouTube and I turned it on. I put it in the Robinhood app, and I invest in stocks with it. It's not money that I need to spend, so I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do with it.
Robinhood app. I've heard that again. You're the second person today I've heard that app from.
Yeah.
Is it like Acorn, but it invests in stocks for you?
It's I've got Acorns too, because that one came out first, and I got into it, and I just don't see the value in Acorns. It sits there for me now. I don't do anything with it. It's just there. But Robinhood it's like E-Trade, just more handy. You can get on. You sign up for it. You get a free stock. So it's like just for downloading the app, you get like $5. Rachel got a $30, or she got a $5 stock that 2 months ago she got it for $5, and then it is now at like $30. But you just take your money and however much you want, $5, whatever. and invest it in stocks. And you get to pick your stocks. You get to buy and sell like a day trader, but you can do it for $5. No fees, or you don't got to spend any money on it or anything. And it's been nice. It's worked well for me. I've made a little bit of money on it, especially right now with the pandemic and everything going on. You kind of can't lose. Every stock is down and everything is going to come back up.
All right. Cryptocurrency got old quick. Yeah, Bitcoin was the big thing there for a while, and then it kind of.
I never got into the cryptos.
That's what happens with fads.
Yeah.
There was a time you could sell a Beanie Baby for like 10 grand. You couldn't sell a warehouse full of them for 10 grand right now.
Yeah, right. Heavy stringers. Before you make any moves on that, let me hit you up on Twitter for a couple of reasons. For one, I do have an affiliate thing with Robinhood, so I make a little bit of money, if you don't mind. And for two, I can at the very least show you what I've done, and then you can take advantage of my, the things I've done right and the things I've done wrong.
I might talk to you later this week about that too.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy. I mean, obviously it's self-serving because I get if anybody uses like my whole thing to sign up, I get a free stock and I want that stock, but I'll try to make it like worth your while for allowing me to do that. You know what I mean? Anything I can do to help.
Yeah, well, one of those things that I don't like is like, oh, you're like the affiliate links. That's something we both have in common, right? Oh, you're pimping the affiliate links. You get a commission from this. Yeah. What's wrong with that? It just supports my channel, so I can put money back into the channel.
It sounds so dirty. I agree. It sounds so dirty. And being on the other side of it, I mean, we do okay with affiliate sales. And it just sounds dirty. And I understand, I get it. But yeah, I mean, it helps support. I mean, I put with some of the stuff that we do, I put all of the legwork into finding that thing that you wanted. And all you got to do is just click on my link to get it. And we've done videos where it's like, if you were looking for this specific thing, well, here it is. I'll serve it right up to you. And all I ask is that you just simply click on my link so that I can make 58 cents for having put all of that work into finding the thing for you.
And it doesn't cost you anything. Nothing comes out of your pocket. It costs you nothing. It just helps support some of your fellow creators.
I do not. I will live by my word on this one. I do not make a single purchase on Amazon without using somebody's link. And I have not made a purchase on Amazon without using somebody's link in over a year. Any purchase I've made.
I can't say that because I have my own. So I mean, using my link is not using somebody's link. But I have made purchases with even. Here's another one too, because it helps support some of my favorite content creators and some people that, well, especially in this day and age, man, digital sociality is all we've got right now. It also helps support some of the people that I now consider, like you, that I now consider friends. Yeah,
exactly.
I've made what I think are, even though social media, I've made some friends here. Even some of them I met. Like me and Chris Summerall have went fishing 2 times together already. 3 times together already.
Oh, I got something to say about that. So here's a little bit of history. I'm going to give you like some history I've never discussed before. A couple of years ago, 2017, I was playing in a band with a couple of friends of mine, and I'd never had a whole lot of interest in doing it. They wanted to play in a band, and so I filled in where we had fun. We did our thing and enjoyed it. And we were doing it the same way that I'm doing like YouTube now. We were hitting it really hard. And the band wanted me to take over the social media stuff. We needed social media. And I refused. I didn't do social media at the time. I was like, not doing it. I'm not about it. Not going to do this. And so I basically got kicked out of the band. And we're all adults, so it wasn't like an immature thing. I'm still buddies with them and stuff, but yeah, it was kind of comical in how high school it went down. I got kicked out because I wouldn't take over the social media. So I had a desire to do YouTube, and that's when I started. And then now here I am, and dang it, I apologize. This was all going to play into exactly what you're talking about, and then I totally threw myself off the rails. So I lost track of where I was going with it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Well, social media is now everybody's marketing campaign.
I'm so tired. Such an idiot.
That's all right. I get it. And also, I got another point on that Amazon affiliate link, and I'm not a business major or nothing like that, but I do pay attention here and there, and especially anything that I'm associated with. And do you know what the most valuable asset marketed last year was? The most valuable commodity sold last year was?
I do not know. And that sounds like something I should know, and I wish I did. What was it?
Data.
Makes perfect sense.
And that I'm not making that up. I researched it. I heard it in a political debate, but no politics. Wasn't an invitation. Yeah. I heard it in a debate, and the guy was right. I looked it up. The most valuable commodity traded last year was data. And one of those companies that bought your data or sold your data was Amazon. And they didn't give me a penny for it.
Yeah.
They took my private information, your private information, my history, Facebook's information, Twitter's information, Instagram's information, YouTube's information, what I searched for, what I Google, and they sold it to companies to sell me stuff.
Yep.
So if Amazon's already going to make money off of my social media, kick me a nickel. Hit my link.
No, you know what? I'm gonna take that. I am already mad at Amazon. I don't know how much you do with affiliate marketing, stuff like that, but recently, with Amazon at least, recently a couple of months ago, Amazon they gutted their affiliate marketing rates. I'm angry about that. Jeff Bezos does not need to do that to the creators that are selling his products for him. The rates were already kind of low as it was anyway. I have been actively pursuing replacing my Amazon affiliate earnings. I saw the effect of it. We get several sales a month. I saw the effects of it. It's ridiculous, the decision that they made to do that. And like I said, I will be pursuing other options this year because screw Amazon. Period. I'm just done with those guys. Hey, what's up, OneCast?
One Cast, One Fish. Thanks for coming in. If you just joined us, we're talking YouTube and affiliations as creators. If you're a creator, I think OneCast is. He SEOs. We're going to get into some classes that we're taking, and that's what tonight's about. We just had a discussion. We're either fishing YouTubers or YouTubers who fish, but either way, we fish. So there will be some fishing in here too.
You know what? Neither one of us sucks at fishing. I think that says something right there.
Neither one of us excel at it either.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I've been doing it for 30 years and I do not excel at it. I still learn new things. I learned new things last weekend.
30 years. Am I older than you?
I think you are. You look older than me.
I've been doing it for... Man, try to be buddies with somebody.
I'm 39. I turned 40 in a couple of months.
I've been doing it since I was a real little kid. My grandparents used to take me when I was like 3. So I've been doing it for 37 years.
Well, okay. See, I start count. I mean, I was doing that. The same thing. I mean, my dad he's been fishing since he was 3. And that was back before video games. And he said that was back when you could go run and play. Shots fired. That's funny. But that was when you used to play, you know, out in the middle of the street and stuff. You go play soccer in the street. So fishing was a much bigger pastime then than it is now. Now it's more of like a hobby. Then it was something that you actually fed your family with. And he, you know, I grew up in the same way where he would take me fishing when I was 3. I didn't start really fishing until I was 10. So I don't know where you draw I kind of draw the line at 10. You know, that's when I started going offshore, 8 to 10. So that's when I kind of count. That's when I started really enjoying it. Prior to that, it was not fun. You know, you sit there for 6 hours to catch one fish. Not as fun.
I get you. Because honestly, the fishing I was doing at 3 and 4 is not real different than the fishing I was doing now. My grandparents were serious about it. Because not only, but they were like you. You know, you catch and cook a lot. Well, your videos aren't a lot of catch and cook, but people who don't know is Stanley keeps a lot of what he catches.
Yeah, more than most.
He eats a lot of fish, a lot of seafood. And my grandparents were like that. And everything they did boiled down to putting meat in the freezer. Mm-hmm. So they were from that generation. So fishing, well, there are even a lot of things I did at 3 and 4 years old that I can't do now. Alex Rudd just went live and said, "Ding." Because I lived in a different state. Like we ran trot lines and caught catfish to put in the freezer, and you can't do that here. We ran jug lines, and you can't do that here. Funny enough, in Pennsylvania, you cannot noodle catfish. It's illegal to catfish noodle, but you can noodle. But you can noodle snapping turtles. In whose world did that make sense?
And who's doing that?
There are people.
Yeah, this is what happened. They were noodling catfish, and somebody was like, they're tearing it up on the catfish. We have got to put a stop to this. So they made a law. And then somebody put their foot down and said, no, I want my snapping turtles, and this is how you get them. You need to make some changes. You know, they had to get their snapping turtles. Who did that?
I've caught several snapping turtles by having a fish out there on a hook. So you can catch them by hook too.
There's other ways of doing it. You don't have to noodle for them. Yeah.
No, yeah, I want to know the son of a gun who first had the balls to do it.
Yeah, right. Who's the guy who invented that? This is Nubs. That was his name.
I guarantee you he stormed Omaha Beach because you could mop the floor with his nut. I guarantee you he's one of the guys that hit Normandy.
Yeah, he came back to America and he's like, his buddy's like, hey, you want to go do some fishing? He goes out there. He's like, this sucks. This is boring. I'm going to go get that snapping turtle. Hold on.
This is boring. My balls are getting muddy.
Good old Two Fingers. Yeah, one cast, one fish. You're still in here. Yeah, that Amazon thing, that sucked. That was dumb. I'm moving on, dude. Amazon is the biggest one, and that hurts, because that's obviously a lot of people do shop in there. But yeah, I'm moving on. I've actually, I had discussed a contract deal with another company. I haven't signed anything yet. I'll talk about it later. But last night we've got a offer from somebody else that they don't know it yet, but we're jumping with them. We're going to jump ship.
I would like to see somebody else come into that realm.
Dude, Target and Walmart are taking a serious stab at trying to taking some of the market from Amazon.
That's good, but Target maybe, but Walmart, Walmart, you're like a distant second in that realm,
that I thought that too, but I will say, what really was a big difference maker in this whole thing was the pandemic. Now everybody's used to buying stuff online and doing their curb pickup. That is a lot more commonplace now than it was 8 months ago. So I think that Walmart and Target and all those guys, I think they have lessened the gap a little bit.
Hopefully, but because Amazon is close to becoming a monopoly.
Yeah, you're right. And then Walmart, in our community here, people buy their stuff at Walmart. That's not uncommon. It's less common, but not uncommon.
I will say this, as you know, I do try to use an affiliate link for somebody. If I'm not using my own, but for somebody. But I will say this, as YouTubers, there is stuff like connectors, camera mounts, and things like that we can only get at Amazon. You can't find it at Walmart. You can't walk into the store and buy it.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Microphones. I can only get that microphone at Amazon.
And I don't know about you, but I spent 20 years living off of like Walmart fishing gear. Recently, and things have changed slightly, but recently I did actually invest a little bit of money in our fishing equipment. I got nicer rods and a little bit nicer equipment. And man, I do not want to go back to Walmart equipment.
For the first time, and it was 2. So for the first time ever, I spent over $100 on rod and reels.
Yep. Yeah, that has been us this year.
But it was 2. It was a combo, travel set at LLB, and I'm learning new content coming, guys. I'm learning to fly fish. I bought a fly rod, and it came with a 3-piece travel spinning rod in it as well. But that fly rod and that spinning rod was like $170. That's the most I've ever spent on fishing equipment.
Earlier this year, I got a pen rod because I've been buying pawn shop rejects, like the $5 and $15 jobs, for my whole life. Earlier this year, a year ago, not earlier this year, it was a year ago about, I invested in a pen rod, retail. However, I got the floor model that was missing screws. And so I got it for half off. And I replaced the entire set of screws that were missing from it for like $10. So I got a great deal on it. Now, immediately after, I love that rod. I sweetest thing I've ever owned in my life. Immediately after, we did go and get Rachel the almost identical setup, and we paid full price on that one. I couldn't say no. She wanted it. I loved mine, and we just had to run with it. It was good.
I took the fly rod out yesterday to an open field over at the college. Well, they ain't using the college for anything else, because that's what they said. Because that's how I learned a bait caster. I just went to an open field, nobody's around, nothing I could hit, I seem to, I don't know, it seemed to take a natural knack to it. I was having it do like on TV, and after just a couple of tries.
Man, you need to get some slow-mo footage of that. I love my slow-mo.
Not a bad idea. I didn't. Well, one, it was hotter than Satan's ass crack all week here, so I thought about setting up my tripod, and I'm like, well, this is my first time. I'm probably gonna make an ass out of myself, and not only that, but everybody's just gonna see my sweaty ass. That's gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to put this on YouTube. It's gonna be vulgar.
Man, I'm gonna be like totally honest with you on that one. Like, this is a not hot take, but this is whatever that's called. I don't know, but yeah. So for like the last 3 years, I've had this just disgusting hernia. I've been spending 3 years trying to hide that on camera, and then as soon as I get insurance at work, then I lose my job. But man, I tell you what, the second I get back to work, the first thing I'm doing, taking advantage of that insurance, I'm getting that thing fixed. I'm sick of hiding it.
Good Lord. This took a dark turn.
Sorry. I'm not showing it here. Hey, heavy stringers, I totally agree with you on that. Kelly, why doesn't anybody gig snapping turtles? Why do you got to use your thumbs to get them?
Hard shell.
I guess.
Well,
I just can't help but think there's better things than your mitts. for a snapping turtle.
Well, no, yeah, but a snapping turtle when it goes, they don't have a lateral line or nothing, but they have, I don't know, this weird animal sixth sense. But snapping turtle is just like any other turtle. When it senses fear, you're not getting through that. You're not getting through that shell.
Yeah.
What are you gonna gig? But you can pick them up by the shell, and they are a bitch to clean.
I bet. I've never had a turtle, but I bet
they are a bitch to clean. You need a machete and a crowbar, and
yeah.
well, you gotta get the shell off.
I've never had a crowbar a fish before.
My grandfather caught a big My grandfather caught a big one when we were kids. And the first thing you do, you take a stick and it bites that stick and pulls its head out and whack. And my grandfather, he threw the head away. The first thing you do, cut the head off. He threw the head over to the side, right? And the shell on the thing, I guess it was a little older, but the shell and the hide was so tough that he hooked it up to a come-along and chained that shell apart. That's how he finally
Jesus Christ, man.
That's how he finally got the shell off. And then, yeah, jaws of life. But
we got into some grouper. We had to get bigger knives for some of the grouper and stuff that we caught down here. And I thought that was insane. Like bigger fillet knives, like, the 11, 12-inch fillet. Like I come along. That's different. You're talking about a different level of work there.
That's how he got
it. Is it good? Are they just like amazing in the pot?
It's pretty good. I liked it growing up, when I was a kid, and I didn't hate it. So I thought it was pretty
heavy
good.
Stringers.
I've got a
heavy stringers. You want to take a shot at some Kemp's Ridley?
Hard shell, and you have to fill them first. Yeah, exactly. Fine. You do have to fill the snapping turtle, especially. You see them come. You see them come up. They come up for air when you see them break the surface. But they can stay down forever. And when they're down in the mud, you don't see them. You feel them.
Yeah, I've run into them. I know what you're talking about.
That's why I was saying the first guy who decided that noodling for snapping turtles is how you do it. I'm telling you, that son of a bitch stormed Omaha Beach. He beat the Nazis by himself.
Yeah, exactly right.
You can mop the floor with his balls.
That's the kind of guy that doesn't get cancer. Nope. Can't happen. I've run into those guys out there. I got family in Oklahoma, and we had this refuge that we used to go and play at when we were kids. We'd go visit family, and we'd go down there and look for frogs, and it was just like one of the greatest outdoors experiences of my life. I still remember it to this day. But one of the things I remember was the snapping turtles in the water. We go to feed the ducks. And the turtles would come up, and then the snapping turtles would come up, and those things were like an elephant in the water. They're huge. And I have swam with sharks down here. I have no fear of any shark under 8 feet. 8 feet is where I kind of start drawing the line. That's where I'll start getting worried about them. But I hold a big snapping turtle to the same level. Like I have the same level of fear for a big snapping turtle that I would like an 8-foot shark. They're dispassionate. They don't care.
I own a level like an alligator. And actually, I believe a turtle has more jaw strength than an alligator.
I think they do. Again, like what size alligator? You're kind of talking size. Nobody has a fear of a 6-foot alligator, a 6-inch alligator. I would put a snapping turtle like the big old snapping turtles. I would put my fear of those guys right up there with probably 7-8 foot alligator. I think I could handle a 6-foot. I'm not too scared of that guy. But I think 8-foot anything is maybe where I start drawing the line. Except cats. I hate cats.
Just don't see the use for them. But yeah, but seriously, now I really want to read about the guy who invented this. I bet he could kick Chuck Norris's ass.
This needs to be, you need to hold on to this one. This needs to be a YouTube video reenacting that guy. That's a winner.
Yeah. I'm gonna write that down. I just got a couple of ideas how to make a video montage for that.
If there's anything that I can do to help with that, I want in on it because I think that's a winner.
All right, I'm going to jot down a couple of ideas and I'll run them by you.
All right.
All right. Let's get into what we came in here for. We just been hanging out and talking. So, let's talk about the YouTube classes. Let's talk a little bit about YouTube and what.
Let's do it. Let's throw that info back and forth.
Go ahead and run by me what you learned and what you told from your guy, and then I'll get into Zachary Fowler.
All right. I've done a couple of these, and I've actually got some conflicting information on some of them, sadly, but all good guys. But I'm going to tell you the one that was the most impactful information that made the biggest difference so far on our channel. And this is going to sound ridiculous. And it is ridiculous, but unfortunately it worked, and it did not work for the reasons that you were going to think that it works for. We were told to double our content, double the amount of videos. And so you think, okay, duh. You double the amount of videos you put out, then you double the amount of views. That didn't happen. We doubled the amount of videos and we almost quadrupled the views. It was a very weird thing. It's a very hard thing to describe, but it's like the impressions just exploded when we did that. And to the extent we did it for a month and a half, 6 weeks, we doubled our content. We went from 1 video a week to 2. And we did that for 6 weeks, and now I'm back on that. We took a break in Wisconsin. Now we're back on that trend. But when we were gone in Wisconsin and not posting, you know how you have that baseline? It's the baseline level. We were doing like 800 to 1,000 views every 48 hours. We doubled our content, and we took that up to 2,000, almost 2,000 views every 2 days. It was 1,000 views a day. And then we stopped posting for like 2 weeks. That did not drop back down to 800 views a day. It remained consistent at about 1,800.
Give me a beer. Would you give me a beer, please?
Make it 2.
Make it 2.
But it was a weird, it's not what you would expect it to be. You double your videos, you double your views, but it wasn't. It was much more. And what it did is it actually, I was told this would happen, and it did happen. Our baseline was here. It took our baseline here,
joking about
this. And it
he can't physically drink it
right about there. Tell her I said thank you regardless. I appreciate it.
My son actually brought me 2. I'm like, he can't really drink it, Dimitri.
Your son, thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Cheers to you, brother.
You got to pour a little bit out for me.
Yeah, my wife kicked my ass. She kicked my ass worse than that guy that invented turtle noodling.
I guarantee that guy had 3 wives.
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get the doubling your videos. Now, I've heard, and not from Fowler, but I've heard it is better to say you make 4 videos. It is better to release those 4 videos every week in the span of 4 weeks than it is to release 4 videos in a week and then not release a video for 2 weeks.
I believe that. I agree with that. They work off each other. And they work off each other in a varying degree of time frames, that 7-day time frame being the most important. And so, yeah, I think that at least a video every 7 days is an important kind of area to be in.
And if you're wondering, it's not in the chat, it's not a political statement or a sponsor. It's just I'm on keto and they're low carb.
Because Coronas are?
Yeah, Corona Premier. It has 90 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs for 12 ounces.
I tell you what, little inside scoop on that. You can get very easily, you can get a sponsorship kind of setup for Corona. I've done this one for beers before. I've done it with Lone Star and Budweiser down here. You go to the distributor. You do?
Oh,
it's disgusting. I hate those things.
You know what it is? Maybe it's because I don't have it. Maybe it's because I don't have it, so I've only drank it in Texas.
Yeah. I would never say anything bad about it outside of Texas because it's it's my heart. But yeah, I hate those things.
It's yeah, maybe it's just the romance of it.
Shiner's where it's at.
Shiner Bock. I like Shiner Bock.
I've had to deal with those guys too, but go to the distributor, not the you don't go to Shiner to look for Shiner. You go to Andrews. You go to L&F or whoever is the guy that's distributing that out to the stores. They give that stuff away like nobody's business.
That might be a little harder here because Pennsylvania has some of the most restrictive drinking laws in the world still. Mm. Matter of fact, you have to go to a distributor, a licensed beer distributor, to get anything above a 12-pack.
Wow, okay.
So you can't walk into Walmart or your grocery store and get a case of beer or a keg or anything like that.
What did you guys do to cause your government to set those rules?
We were founded by the Quakers.
Oh, that says it all right there. Okay. Strangely, you would think the rules in Texas, given our reputation, you'd think that our drinking laws would be a little bit more lax. But man,
that's right. There are drinking laws in Texas.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I go to California, I go to Wisconsin, and I look at the rules here in Texas, and I'm like, what the hell? This is what we do is drink. We drink with everything. Drinking and driving was cool 18 years ago, In the 80s, that's what people did. Yeah, you can't do it in public. You can't walk down the street with a beer. Anything over, you can't buy anything over, I think it's like 12% or whatever in a Walmart. You got to go to a liquor store. The bars close at 2, and we have dry counties. I don't know what to say about that. We're Texas. I don't understand any of that. I have a liquor store in town. I got a liquor store right down the street over here in town that you have to walk through the back door. They were founded back in the day where, prohibition kind of stuff where you weren't allowed to go in to buy liquor. It was like for the Baptists and stuff like that.
That's kind of a weird thing. I might be able to beat it. To this day in Pennsylvania, anybody that works in a liquor store is a state employee. They work for the state of Pennsylvania. They call them state stores.
I'm in Texas. Why do we not have that?
Only the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania can sell liquor in Pennsylvania.
That sounds like such a Texas thing. Why do we not have that? Why do you have that?
They're the only ones who can sell wine and spirits in Pennsylvania. You cannot sell wine and spirits as an independent retailer.
Wow.
The cashier at the liquor store is a state employee with state benefits.
I've been in the wrong business my entire life. Right. That's all I can say about that. Gets retirement from peddling vodka.
20 years served. If you work in a liquor store for 20 years, you could retire. Maybe 30 years, whatever Pennsylvania state.
You know what's funny about that? When I got laid off,
film star, guy, great stream tonight, guys.
Alcohol makes you. Oh shoot! I haven't been keeping up with the chat. Heavy, I apologize. Good looking honky. Very much appreciate you coming and joining us.
He called himself what I'm reading there, right?
Yep, he did.
Kudos.
If you wouldn't
I
mind,
bet
if
he
you
noodles turtles.
Yeah, I bet he's a state employee that noodles turtles. I would very much appreciate it if you subscribed to my YouTube channel. My name is Stanley Orchard because I want to brag about you as a subscriber to my channel.
Oh, dude, I do a shout out. I'm going to, I'm going to Google this guy when I get out. Oh God, my search history is going to look rough after this live stream. They might call Homeland Security.
Go down to the public library. Do the search there.
Oh, it's closed. It's closed.
Oh, that's right. You can't do that. Oh, I bet everybody's search history sucks right now.
I don't know, but I know Pornhub Premium's free right now. I
heard about that. Yeah. What do we got? I sure will. That's fun.
I am going to check because I get the software. I get the Gmail notifications. Blah blah blah. Subscribe. I'm going to check my email right after this, and if you subscribe, I'm going to Google you.
Yeah,
my wife is going to go, what in the hell are you looking at?
You don't understand. You don't understand. We have analytics on our YouTube channels where behind the scenes it lets us know who is subscribing, who's watching. We've got numbers that would blow your mind, and it will let me know if you visited my channel and you subscribed. It's gonna show your face on there. I'm gonna be looking for it. I can't wait. I don't care about watch time or anything else. I just want to see your face on there.
Alcohol can make you brave / crazy. I've had a
things.
quarter of a low carb beer. I'm usually just this way.
I have had 3/4 of a bottle, not much.
But Stanley's usually that way too. So.
Yeah, this is my body's accustomed to this. I'm just now waking up.
Now, I'm sorry that struck a much funnier chord with me than it probably should have. I'm like, really? That's how the guy introduces himself? I'm like, bravo. You know?
I agree.
Bravo. You own it, buddy. You know?
It's kind of encouraging. I want to kind of come up with an introduction like that myself. Because you're right, it does. It steals the show.
You know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to Google this boy, and he's going to have an old Milwaukee tall boy between his legs. But shit, I brag about it too. You know? There we go again, Stanley. All right, Stanley, be right back. Hopefully, he probably hit the wrong button again.
I did it again.
How much you had to drink?
3/4 of a bottle.
I was never a big wine drinker.
I was a beer guy for the longest time, and probably about 5 years ago, just my body couldn't handle it anymore. I had to switch.
Bloat you a little bit. All I think about wine is, man, when I've gotten drunk off of wine, that hangover lasts 6 days.
See, that's me on beer. Is it just hits me so much harder than the other stuff. I will say, when we were in Wisconsin, and this is intriguing, I think it's due to me being lazy. I'm not going to lie. But when we were in Wisconsin, we fished every single day. And the sun rises earlier. Like here, it rises at 7 in the morning. In Wisconsin, it was rising at 5. Blew my mind, but I was loving it. If I could ever catch up. I never got the opportunity to catch up to the schedule. But so we were out there fishing every single day and doing stuff from 5 in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. I was wearing myself out, and everybody's drinking beer. It has been over a decade since I have been able to drink beer. And I wasn't like pounding them. I wasn't anything like that. But I was able to drink 4 beers in a day. I haven't been able to do that in 10 years. It was, and I think it was because of the calories that we were burning off. I think I'm just maybe sensitive to the calories or something. But I had no problems drinking it up there like I would down here.
I'll be honest. I mean, I'm having one now, but this is actually a rare thing for me. I'm a completely social drinker, and I rarely drink them. But I saw you. A cold beer would be good. It's a heat wave right now, but. Yeah. And I'm doing the low carb thing. So this is 90 calories, and that is a lot more calories than actually I normally drink. I don't drink my calories anymore.
You're right about that.
I normally drink 0 calories.
Well, I will say the beer that I do enjoy is more of for whatever reason, like Coors Light and stuff like that. It affects me the same, maybe mentally. I don't know. But I do like Shiner Bock. I like Guinness. I like the heavy stuff.
I'm never a big Guinness fan, and I'm Scotch Irish, but it never hit. But I do like well, they have it most places now, but for a while it was only available in Pennsylvania. It's made in Pottstown. It's a beer called Yingling Lager.
Yes, yeah, I've had that one.
I like that one. It was my wife's favorite. But I'd never heard of it until I moved here like 17 years ago. But now it's kind of distributed everywhere. That is the oldest brewery in America.
Yingling?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that. I thought Sam Adams had some kind of claim to that.
No, Sam Adams didn't come around to the 70s.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. I could just see them doing like Sam Adams 1860 as a like a logo. Like a lie. It is. I'm not a big fan, but I've never been a big fan of them.
1970s, I don't think.
Makes sense. Never been much of a fan. I don't like their stuff. I like the stuff out of Colorado. I like Oscar Blues, Old Chub, stuff like that.
I like the Boston Lager. It's okay. I don't. Like I said, I'm not a big drinker, so I can't sit here and say, "Oh, I like this and I like that." I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And growing up, I drank a lot of Bud Light, but I never liked it.
Oh, see, there's, and I'm not even going to get into it, but there's some connotations with some of the various breweries down here. Bud Light being one that historically I'd try to avoid due to some connotations that just didn't work down here in Texas. So Coors Light, Miller Light.
I drank a lot of Coors Light up here. There's a Puerto Rican one now called Medalla.
Modelo?
No, not Modelo. That's Mexican. It's Medella, and it's brewed in Puerto Rico. And it's now available in the States. You can get it here at the distributor. So all the Puerto Ricans are supporting this Puerto Rican brewery, and it's okay. But before that, all my wife's time they drank Coors Light. Like all Spanish people drink Coors Light for some reason. I don't know what that was, but
that's interesting. Maybe. It's all Budweiser, Bud Light down here.
Well, I think it's because Coors Light there for the longest time was $17 for a 30-pack.
That may be the case down here too. I don't know. Wasn't a fan. When we were in high school, you drink whatever was given to you. You're in high school, whatever you get your hands on. Outside of high school, almost immediately, the second job I ever had outside of high school was I was a bar back at the coolest bar in Corpus Christi, and still friends with the manager to this day. Respect him, one of those guys I just respect more than anybody. But I became a bartender and stuff like that, and so I became a little bit of a snob drinking like craft beers and stuff like that. So I never had the real switch over. We had the high school stuff that we drank, and then I went to a bar and I was drinking Red Stripe and St. Arnold's and Guinness, and you know what I mean? Like I went in a totally different direction. So I didn't have a middle ground of getting to choose an everyday beer to drink. Because I'm not going to drink Guinness every day. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I know if you just joined us now, you're probably thinking we're a beer review channel.
Yeah, right. No, actually, I was just going to ask you about that. I want to hear about your side now. I was talking about my doubling up on the videos. What's the biggest bit of advice that you've got so far that's like the biggest selling point?
Well, me and you, this isn't anything new. I knew this. Me and you both know that right now on YouTube, watch time is king.
Mm-hmm.
But there are three things that contribute to this. Title's how you get found. If nobody's finding you, nobody's watching you. Thumbnail's how you get watched. If nobody's clicking you, nobody's giving you watch time. And then watch time is king. And that third one, the watch time, once you figure out the title, which you have to put some work into, and the thumbnail, which you have to put some work into. But once you figure out the title and the thumbnail, how to build watch time is you have to okay. So once you figure out the title and the watch time.
Hey, Triple Tail. Good to see you, Will.
You have to figure out, once you figure out the title and the thumbnail, you have to figure out the watch time. And watch time is viewer engagement. So I've been getting ideas on how to drag people in a view trap.
Yes, the view machine. Familiar with it.
So what you have to do, like he says now, he does still do one thing that a lot of people have gone away from, and that's the channel intro, but he does it a little different. So
yeah,
like he's got the pre-edited channel intro that's in some of his videos, and a lot of people have gone away from that. Like I will be honest, some of like we were talking about Flick Master a while ago, that little whatever, I skip that every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen it 20,000 times. I don't need to see it again. You know what I mean? I skip that every time. So, and then, YouTube reads that. People keep skipping parts of your video. They read it as, oh, well, people aren't interested.
Yep, exactly. I'll add to that. YouTube, from what I've been told, what they look at, it's watch time. Now, watch time is like your total watch time of a video. You have a 10-minute video. How much of that video are they watching? And if they skip out a portion of it, well, it's limiting the total amount of time that has been watched on that video. But also, they're looking at, well, how much are people watching in the first 30 seconds, the first minute, the first 5 minutes, and the first 10 minutes? There's varying degrees of value based on where people are skipping out on. But also, more importantly, and super importantly these days, if you have a 10-minute video, what are people watching afterwards? If you are by cards, by a pinned comment in the description, or by end screens, if people are watching 3 or 4 videos, it doesn't matter if they're watching 15 seconds of that first video. The first video can be a bomb. It can be a dud. If they're watching 15 seconds of it, and then moving on and watching 3 hours of other videos, that thing's a winner.
Yeah.
They count all that.
Yeah. But also, so like, and he says, I can only give you my style.
Yeah.
He's like, I went from nothing to 750,000 subscribers. I got 1 million views in a month. I had a million viewed video after, I had a 1 million view video after like a month of making them. And he says, and I will be honest, I'm sure I had some notoriety because I appeared on a TV show in a contest that I won. But he says, that's no longer the case. People say, oh, well, he made it because he was on Alone or whatever. He says, very few people still know I was on Alone. Now everybody knows I'm the YouTuber Zachary Fowler.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, to prove that point, most people find me by Zachary Fowler. Channel's name is Fowler's Makery and Mischief.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody researches that. But people know Zach Fowler, the YouTuber. And then they find out now, wait, this guy was on Histories Alone?
Mm-hmm.
But like the channel intro, like his pre-edited one, I'm kind of, but it's only like a couple of seconds, so it doesn't make me want to skip it. And it's different scenes. It's like a second here, a second here, a second here, a second here, a second here. And it kind of tells me what his channel is about. So it doesn't make me want to skip it. Like, and I'm guilty of this. I did it with my logo. you're all proud of that logo when you get one or whatever. But like Fluke Masters, and I don't mean to just keep beating Gene Jensen over the head. He's a nice guy. I've met him. Oh, he's a nice guy. I've met him. He's a great angler. But he's got this logo that comes up on all his videos, and he goes, doo, doo, and makes his logo. That was cool. The first 12 times I saw it. I don't need to see it again. So I'm skipping that. Get to the point. But at least Fowler's is, like, he starts off with a cold opening of the video. He's got a second here, him doing this, a couple of seconds here, a couple of seconds here, a couple of seconds here, a couple of seconds. And then oh shit, I want to see what he does with this. And then he goes into his channel intro. And if he's doing a series, his channel intro will be about that series. He'll be like, "Hi, I'm Zach Fowler, and this is the Canadian Rockies 30-Day Survival Challenge, episode blah, blah, blah." And he's got little bits of the series in it. And he'll say, if you haven't seen the series, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes into the content, the video of the body. And another thing he says, never let anybody know when your video is ending.
Yes, wholeheartedly agree with that one. We end ours like that. We try to. If you can trim that first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds to where, your retention graph, I can't do it with the hands or whatever, but it starts off really high and then plummets immediately. And the end of the video retention graph does the same thing. If you can eliminate those two drops, your retention is going to be far higher overall.
Right. Fish Snatcher, thanks for joining us. I just shared your comment. He said you can't. Well, let me put it back. I hit it. Fish Snatcher says you can't start out trying to get paid. In my opinion, you have to have a passion for what you're doing. The views will come. I agree
with you, but what happens when like us, we're several years in at where we're at. At some point, you got to just you've got to poke the bear. You've just got to go pro regardless of where you're at.
Yeah. I think there's like a level for pro. I'm
not saying this is pro, but I'm saying it's like you kind of have to go a little bit more in.
Where you're leaning toward this, or at least this genre or this idealism as a profession or a living. I think if YouTube's going to be your thing, I think 100,000 subscribers is the minimum goal to hit, maybe.
I agree. I want that play button. I'm not going to lie. That's where we've set our bar.
No. I know a guy who's good, who gets lots of views every week. He's been on my live show. I talked to him on Instagram, and he still has a full-time job. And he's at like 60,000 subscribers. Yeah,
I know a guy with 40, same thing, full-time job.
And he's got a sponsor. He could probably do this full-time.
I know a guy with 40,000 subscribers who we make more money than he does, a lot more money than he does. So, it's not just about subscriber numbers. In fact, YouTube has even but YouTube has said if they could get rid of subscriber counts, they would. It's a ridiculous, stupid vanity metric that means nothing. They wish they had never gone that direction.
No, because what it made everybody do is go after subscribers when watch time is what you really want.
Exactly. You want eyeballs on the platform, and subscribers, they are detrimental to that at times. They change. Viewing habits change.
And like the people who inspired all of us, say Bill Dance, right? Probably inspired us as kids, at least bass fishermen as kids. You watched him when you were a kid on TV, came on Saturday evenings or whatever, right? And it's who inspired me. He's my idol. One of the things on my bucket list was I grew up in Tennessee, so one of the things on my bucket list was get my picture taken with Bill Dance and have him sign a UT hat. And I did that 2 years ago.
Nice.
So yeah. But anyway, so on the thing about subscribers, Bill Dance never one time asked me to be loyal to him. I just watched his damn show.
Right. And you have a platform that is dedicated specifically to search and discovery. Why do we have to have people subscribe to that?
Yep.
And speaking of which, Heavy Stringers, he says here, I remember a tip I heard when I first started, create videos with the attitude of feeling like you already have a 1 million subs watching. You do. We are, you know, all of the tags and the metadata that you put on your video. The top 2 videos on my channel are both over 10,000 views, and they weren't when they first got posted. We are about to cross 200,000 views, and that wasn't the case when we first started. It's not about the views that you get immediately. Those videos, they will stand the test of time. At least your best ones will. They will get views. There is absolutely no telling how many views they will get over the course of like 10 years, as some of those videos are going to blow up over the course of several years. It is going to happen, and it's not going to be the videos that you think it's going to be. So yeah, you have to act like, you know, I've got 200,000 in a couple of years here. I will have 1 million views. It's just that, you know, how long is it going to take? And exactly back to your point, yeah, 1 million views, 1 million subscribers, or whatever. Yeah, 1 million views in particular. Yeah, you're going to get that. It's just an issue of time. You keep doing what you're doing, you will get it. So start acting like it now.
And anybody that's watching this tonight, I think you can learn on Stanley's success and my mistakes. And I'm saying that no, seriously, I'm saying that wholeheartedly. So you learn on that, because if you don't know, we were talking about this earlier when some of y'all were in here. The first live stream Stanley Orchard ever did was me.
Mm-hmm.
It's still on my channel. Stanley Orchard did a live stream with me, and the reason he did it is because I was over 1,000 and he wasn't.
I tried to use him as a means of bumping my career.
Yep, and it worked. He got some subscribers out of it. But because Stanley made videos like he had him in his subscribers, he stayed consistent. He stayed, and to brag on Stanley a little bit, I watched Stanley's past 3 videos, and I commented in it. And I'm not just saying this because he's here tonight or he outgrew me or anything. Stanley's videos have gotten more and more professional. They've gotten to the right length. They've gotten to his thumbnails have gotten, but because he puts in the time. While I got less consistent. I didn't make as much content as I should have. I didn't make content like I had 1 million people watching. So now Stanley's reaching 200,000 views. I'm reaching 20,000 views. Stanley's reaching 3,000. What are you at? 3,500 subscribers.
3,500. Yeah.
We'll
be at $4,000 by the end of the year.
Stanley's headed toward 4,000 subscribers. I just got out of 1,030 limbo hell. I've been consistent the past 3 weeks, and I've gained 20 subscribers. So that's more than I gained back when I was doing the lives to get notoriety. Back when and I say the past 3. I've been consistent the past 3 weeks, but it's only the past 8 days I've gained 20 subscribers.
Hey, that's good numbers right there.
Yeah.
And I will say that people, it is highly undervalued. I respect that YouTube actually allows you to take time off. Like we took off our time when we were in Wisconsin. It was a week and a half. It was basically 2 weeks. Earlier this year, it was winter time. I wasn't catching fish. I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing anything. I was working at the time. And we ended up taking off, like I say, I took off a month. I was able to cram out some crap over the course of that month to the tune of maybe 3 videos in a month, and it was crap videos. So I didn't really take it off. But I mean, let's be honest. If you could just literally film 5 minutes of you talking to the camera one day, do that 3 times in a month, and you're able to suffer through, that's a vacation. Let's not lie. That's taking a break. And that's what we did for 1 month earlier this year. And YouTube allows you to do that. We were able to do that. Yeah, our analytics went down, but then the second we started posting again, they came right back up. It was not detrimental to the channel at all. You can do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this about YouTube, but first off, I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer, because one of the things I cannot stand about YouTube is they are constantly moving the goalpost.
Yeah.
And it gets discouraging. Like, before, you only had to have 10,000 views. 10,000 views, and you could go out and just make videos. That's all you had to worry about.
Yeah.
Now, I surpassed that. You know, my first 10,000 came pretty quickly. Now I'm headed toward 20,000. The next 10,000 did not come so quickly. But I surpassed the first. I think back when you did the live, I was past 10,000 views. That's been a while. But anyway, then they moved the goalpost. 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours. 4,000 watch hours has been a bitch.
Yeah, that is a hairy one. Did you get that?
Once, and then the 12 months surpassed, so I got to do it again.
Really? Okay. But you know what? I know this is like
that's
the stupidest thing in the world to say.
You're
one video away.
Yeah.
All you got to do is make one video that's a banger, and you'll get that watch time.
So, but now I'm heeding advice. I'm thinking, okay, I think I'd like to do this one day. It ain't gonna be tomorrow, but I'd like to do this one day. I'm heeding advice. I'm seeking advice. I'm implementing the things I'm being told, and they're working. Like, I've gone my whole time on YouTube not having a popular uploads list until today. I uploaded today on my homepage the popular uploads.
And I don't have that.
Should. And I moved it to the top because people, like, you know, everybody wants traction on their latest video because you have 24 hours with YouTube. So everybody wants that 24 hours to get traction on their latest video to get the views.
It's the best 24 hours, yeah.
Yeah. But somebody tell me, your most popular videos are your most popular for a reason. So you want those to be in front of people's eyes because that's what people are watching.
That's interesting. I got to say, I slipped into that accidentally. I have not made a most popular videos playlist.
YouTube does it for you. You go to, matter of fact, you know, quick tutorial. What you do is you go to customize channel.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go into customize channel in your homepage,
yes, I know what you're going with that.
See where it says like add list, you hit that add list, and then these two things come up. If you hit this, what type of content, there's a thing you highlight that says popular uploads, and YouTube will automatically make a playlist that uploads your most popular videos. And then you just hit that arrow and move it to the top. That way, not only that, it's your recommended, you'll get more views, but your most popular uploads are your most popular for a reason, because that's what people like. Those are the videos that people like. Then the videos that people like are the videos that people are watching. Yep. So if you have the videos that people are watching there, when it uploads into the recommended or whatever, because you notice that usually the recommended is either your latest video or one of the videos from the top of the playlist that you have across your homepage. Mm-hmm. If that's the recommended video to watch next, you're more likely to watch more of that video and another video. And another video. So you'll get a lot more watch time. I found. So you get a lot more watch time by having the videos that people are watching. Because I always like, well, I need my latest videos to hit. You know, I've put all this work into it. And my own personal advice is if you don't have thick skin and you want to do this, you better grow some.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Because YouTube is a fickle wench, you know. You're going
at every single opportunity that there is to knock you down, it's gonna happen. Hey, check this one out. Fish Snatcher, I hope you're still here. I found filming is easy, but editing sucks. How long does it take you guys to edit a video on average, and what are you using to edit? Kelly, you want to start on that? Well, you got it right there on screen. Okay, what you want to start?
Yep.
Curious.
Okay, I'll answer the last of it. Right now, I'm using Filmora 9 to edit. I edit on a laptop. So I do film on my cell phone. I film my sometimes now. I have a blog stick with a microphone, and I film on my cell phone. One of the tricks I do have to learn or keep in mind is I need to film on the forward-facing camera and not the one that faces back at you, because the lens on the front is 200 times more advanced than the one that faces back. But I found myself like cutting myself out of the shot, so that I don't know. It was a comfort thing, but I'm just gonna have to figure it out. But anyway,
you can get yourself a little mirror. A little like you know what I mean, like a reflective bead or something. Glue that to the back of your phone so you can see yourself, and that's how you solve that problem. So you can see where you're at.
It's not a bad idea. So yeah, what I will right now I edit on Filmora 9, and lately their last update I've had major headaches with it, because the last time they updated it made it where the upload to YouTube function didn't work. So I had to download it as an MP4 and then upload it directly from my laptop, which was, I'm like, oh great, now I got to upload twice. It's my the internet down here is hit or miss sometimes. So that's what I'm using right now. How long does it take you guys to edit a video? Okay, rule of thumb when you're thinking, for me and what I've heard is, when you're thinking about editing a video, especially if you want to make it good, and I'm not saying I make them good or great. Some of mine I thought had been really creative. Some of them I'm like, okay, let me just get this, because you get lazy. You get lazy editing. You get tired. You have a real job. You're exhausted. You come home and like, oh, I gotta get this up. It's Tuesday at 4 o'clock or whatever. So rule of thumb is, when for me, and this isn't just me, I've also heard this from some bigger guys. However long you went out on your trip, that's how long it takes you to edit that video. So if you go on a 3-hour fishing trip, that's a 3-hour edit.
I can't argue. I try not to do that. Our fishing trips will typically be like 6 or 8 hours. So I try not to edit for 6 or 8 hours. The last fishing trip that I went on, I have spent at least 8 hours editing that video. At least. Well,
especially when you do special trips, because like the Wisconsin trip, I'm assuming is what you're talking about, the last trip you went on. When you do special trips, it's a different one,
but yeah, same deal.
The Billy Clayboyle fishing trip and the Bassmaster Classic fishing road trip video that I did, those took 2 days to edit, because even though they were only 15-minute videos, you're on this special trip, so you're always recording just in case something happens that you don't want to miss.
Yep.
Like you spent the time and the money to go down here. Like, I recorded a lot of the Bassmaster Classic, and I had to edit out a crap of it because they pump in music.
Yeah. Yeah, I've dealt with that one. And I mute and add my own music.
And as anybody that fishes YouTube or whatever, you know, there's a reason they call it fishing and not catching. So you stay recording, because I had backup battery, so you stay recording in case, you know, Billy says something funny, or something happens that I want to put in the video, or a rod does this or something that makes for
oh man B-roll. Yeah, you want to catch the a strike,
right? So you stay recording, and then when I got home, I'm like, man, I got like 3 hours between things I got to take out.
And I will say, I want to add on to that one, because we're talking about how long it takes to edit. It can vary, because I've had videos that I'm not married to a length on a video. I don't care. I know that you get ads at the 10-minute mark. You know, you get mid-rolls, and now that's changing where you get mid-rolls at the 8-minute mark. I don't edit a video specifically so that I can get mid-rolls. I will throw mid-rolls on a video, but I'm only going to throw one or two, but I've never thrown 2. I'm open to it. I've never done it. So I don't care if the video reaches the 8 or 10-minute mark. I do want to try to reach the 20-minute mark. I haven't done that in the last 2 years. You know, I'm not going to make a video just because I think it should be 20 minutes or I want to hit the 20-minute mark, I'm not going to do it just because that's a number that I want to hit. What I will do, I'll film, and I will typically film 2 to 3 hours worth of footage, and then I will edit that to the length of video that gives it a good flow. I want a 20-minute video. I have not accomplished that in 2 years because I just have not had a fishing trip that suffices, that has had enough stuff happen in that 3 hours worth of footage that warrants a 20-minute video. So typically I'm editing 3 hours worth of footage down to the 15-minute mark. I may edit an hour's worth of footage down to the 5-minute mark. You know what I mean? And that typically takes me, it typically takes 6 to 8 hours is what I'm spending editing after everything is said and done. Because editing does include, like, I edit my captions, I translate them into like 20 different languages. I'm doing my thumbnail, titles, description, my keyword research. All of that combined, it's easily 8 hours worth of work that goes into a video, regardless of whether it's a 5-minute video or a 20-minute video. And I do it all, for the other side of your question on that, I do it all on the phone. I don't own a computer, and I use KineMaster, like Heavy Stringers was saying, I use KineMaster to edit it all.
He says, thanks, guys. I thought I was doing something wrong because it took me so long to edit. No, it takes you however long it takes you. You're not doing anything wrong. If you go, no, seriously, if you go on a 2-hour fishing trip and it takes you 6 hours to edit that because you're trying to make this, or you're trying to get this creativity, or you want to do this, it's your creation, so you're not doing anything wrong. I'm
laughing because Heavy Stringers here is saying that he uses his Galaxy S10 as backup. That's my primary.
I have a Galaxy S9. That's what I do my intros and exits on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I make all my videos with a cell phone and a GoPro, and GoPro doesn't the focus or the
stabilization
picture. And that's stable. It's not, well, if you put it on a tripod, everything's stable. But GoPro, the fisheye lens, it doesn't. Like when it's close up face to face, or when it's like a face shot or whatever, it doesn't have the same clarity as like the cell phone. And tonight my live streams is because I use my laptop for these live streams because I use StreamYard, which is I don't pay for it. So
that's the only way that I could be on here.
The watermark it, right. So I have to use my laptop and then invite him in. So the invited guest can use their cell phone. But actually, I was going to tell you this too, and I forgot until right now. When I logged in to make this live stream tonight, StreamYard had a thing that changes are coming to StreamYard, and the mobile ability is coming to StreamYard. You can use StreamYard on your mobile. You can use StreamYard on your mobile. I have an S9. I do all my filming on it. Film on whatever you got.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I did all my
video quality is not about lens quality. 4K doesn't matter. It's all about what you can present as far as like the video, the content, the value of what you're putting out. That's the most important thing. Look at an example of that is Black Warrior Lures. I love that guy to death. Damon is a buddy of mine. That dude films with like an old 1970s camera style. His fishing videos. He doesn't need 4K. He doesn't need all of the fancy stuff, and the dude is doing just fine.
I did all my first, and like I said, we're not experts at this. We just happened to hit a couple of numbers that I figured, not to make fun of anybody in here, but and I'm not. We were all there once too. We all started with 0.
Yep.
But I figure the people that are coming in here to watch us right now are below our numbers, and they want to know how to get to these certain numbers, and the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours and the views and the clicks. And
yeah, you know what? Actually, I agree with that. I would think that anybody in here asking questions and stuff like that, they probably want to know either what we did right, but If it was me, I would want to know, what did you do wrong? What do I want to avoid? What's the biggest? But just before we get to that, I want to know what your biggest mistakes have been. But just before we get to that question, Fish Snatcher says, what do you do when you go out and don't have enough good footage to make a video? I think that's a super valuable question. What do you do?
You find something else to make a video about.
You make that part of the video. I think you be careful about that. You can't have every video. You don't want to be the channel that's focused on making videos about how you fail at fishing, although that there might be a niche in that. But you continue. Whatever you filmed, you continue until you have a full storyline to make a video. I've seen people do where they don't catch anything. They filmed everything. So then they go to McDonald's and they get a burger. And then they go home and they tell their wife how they didn't catch anything or something like that. There's a storyline involved, and that's what we're all trying to convey. As long as you have a storyline, it really doesn't matter what you caught. The second most popular video on my channel for 2 years was a video where I did not catch a single fish. It's because I told a good story. It's not about what I caught.
I'm trying to think. My first two I caught fish, but the second one, you know what's funny? The first one, the title was good. The thumbnail was okay. And the concept was good. I kind of want to restructure the tags and the description. One of the things you're talking about failing. One of the things I really failed at first is I did not utilize that description box.
Yeah.
I hated it. I still don't love it. I hated it.
You got to make a template and just copy it. You can even copy that into YouTube.
I kind of do that now, but what I do, and even now, what I still have to work on is the first paragraph, the description of the actual video.
Yeah, it's the hardest part.
Make that a little longer.
Yeah,
and to
200
me,
characters.
To me, that's like a punishment. As a kid in school, I always hated writing reports. I'm like, man, it's like you're making me write. I make videos. I make videos because I don't want to do a blog. You know, it's like you're making me write sentences. Write 5,000 sentences. I will not throw things in class. You know.
Well, and what's hilarious about that, the descriptions, you know this, but like you have to fill it out. You have to write something that describes your video, but at the same time, you have the schoolyard assignment of like, I want you to write 200 characters on what your video is about, but you need to include these keywords and tags. It's straight out of high school English.
Yep. I did because another one of my failings, and I can admit it, I am shit at writing. I'm a terrible writer. Now, even though my grammar ain't perfect when I speak, I tell my wife all the time, God didn't give me a lot of gifts, but things he did give me, I've learned to use. So like public speaking now, I never had an issue with it. I outgrew all that. I can speak in public. I can talk a squirrel out of a hickory tree. And I learned
I'm on the same page with you. That is a highly underrated value.
It is. Because one of the things you will have a hard time getting comfortable with, talking to yourself, talking to that stupid box.
Yes. Yeah. And acting like it's a human being.
Yep. Yep. Human beings in front of me, I'd talk you into almost anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I can make you mad at me about almost anything too. I got both gifts, But
hey, Fish Snatcher, you got a great point right there. Jumping in on what you're saying there. Some people wear the same clothes every time they go out to build enough footage, and yes, I have done that sparingly. But there have been times where I've gone fishing and I did not film that segment that I needed to kind of tie up the storyline. So the next day, after I'm done filleting and everything's in the freezer and I'm done with the video, but I'm missing that segment, I'll throw on the same dirty, disgusting, smelly clothes, and I will go for a walk down the street, and talk to the camera and film that one portion of video that I need to finish the entire thing. I have done that.
And he said thought after that, like our thoughts on it. Honestly, I think that's dedication. That's somebody putting in the work.
Yeah.
You don't get mad at anybody else for putting in the work at their job, right?
And who noticed?
Right.
I dare you. I dare anybody to go and point out the part of my video where I did that. I freaking dare you.
And it sounds funny, but it's a trick that works.
Yeah.
And
on that note, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but real quick, I'm going to throw this out there. I try to make it a habit to do my introductions at the end of the day, so that way I can tell you exactly what this video is going to be about. I specifically avoid doing that at the beginning of the day because I'm fishing. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue what I'm going to catch.
Yep, I do the same thing. It's funny. Introduction is usually the last thing I do. Mm-hmm. I do my introduction after my exit.
I'll typically do it like a day or two later.
I don't know if I wait that long. I usually do it in the same trip.
I'm lazy. I wish I did do it the same trip. Sometimes I will, but it's not uncommon for me to do it a day or two later. I have energy. I woke up, I got my coffee, I'm ready to go.
And not only that, but if you think about it, it's not just us. I know, I will almost guarantee you all the big YouTubers do that too.
Same underwear, 3-4 days a week. Kidding.
Look down on Friday, still says Tuesday.
Fresh underwear, that's for Friday nights.
I'll give you an example, and it's a really big YouTuber, especially in this realm. He actually gets the most views of any of the Goo Guns, and probably because he uploads daily now. But Andrew Flair gets more views on his videos than any of the other Goo Guns. A lot of people don't notice that, but he does. Andrew Flair, he reaches like 1 million views a day. So, and he's been doing this for a long time. Flair's been doing this longer than a lot of them because he started when he was a kid.
Can you imagine that? He gets the views that I get on my channel, lifetime. He gets that before he wakes up in the morning.
Yep. Andrew Flair can upload a video and get your lifetime views in a half hour.
Sadly, he wasn't born with this face. So, there's ups and downs.
Make the most of the gifts you got. But anyway, and he's not even my favorite Goo Gun, but I will give him credit. Now, Andrew Flair, if you notice, I do watch him. I ain't got anything against any of the Goo Guns. I watch them, and I watch them for inspiration or ideas because the Goo Guns have figured out how to do this to tremendous success.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't watch them, but I agree they do that.
Anything you want to know how to do, figure it out by somebody who really knows how to do it. You don't ask a broke person how to make money. You don't ask a fat person how to lose weight. So if you want to figure out how to YouTube, love them or hate them, the Goo Guns have figured out how to do YouTube.
You know what's something that people don't utilize, and this is something that I do, but I don't see anybody else doing this. Watch TV. Why does nobody do that? I've personally gone to like Local Knowledge and Deadliest Catch, and I like Naked and Afraid. I go to those shows, break them down, and watch 10 minutes and see how they edit. Look at how long those clips are. I have literally done this. I have videos on my channel where I've talked about this. Deadliest Catch, and the other guys are the exact same way. For one, notoriously awesome B-roll. For two, they like to their clips are like 2 seconds long sometimes. They're catching B-roll. They're catching the shot of an elephant in the wild, or the crabs being caught off the boat and the big waves breaking over the bow. And these clips are like 2 seconds long. When was the last time you used a 2-second clip in a video? I try to cram them in all the time myself. it's filler. It breaks things up. It keeps things interesting.
Different angles.
But you can learn from watching television shows.
Yeah. Fish Snatcher, I really enjoyed listening to you guys. I learned. Let me put that back up. I don't know why I show it and then hide it before I read it. I really enjoyed listening to you guys. I learned a lot in this short time. I will definitely be back. You guys have a good night. God bless. Good night. I really appreciate that, Fish Snatcher. I hope you did learn something.
It's been a pleasure, man.
We're not experts. We just figured out how to hit a couple of those numbers, and we bounce ideas off of each other. We ask questions. If we don't know, I tell you I don't know, but hey, here's who does. Go watch them. You know?
We have not totally failed. So if you want to not totally fail, you're in good company.
Right. And I failed a lot. I just haven't totally failed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We got a lot of failures.
On the I was talking about the intro thing, but Andrew Flair is an example. Now, do you really think, because Andrew Flair starts all his videos now out the same way. He jumps out of his truck and goes, shoo! Now, do you really think that Andrew Flair drives around all day and all week, because he uploads every day, with a camera in his windowsill? Of course
I know exactly where you're going with that.
About his day, and then he does the intro. You know?
Yeah. Oh, all of these guys. In fact, there are some channels out there that I really respect because I see that they do not do that. And again, as much as I'm not going to knock anybody down, there's also some people I'm not going to provide free advertising to. I'm not going to tell them. But there are some people out there who do a really good job because they actually do call their shots. But that is so rare, and sadly, it's less interesting. You know, if you go out and film your video and you know what's going on, and then you film your intro and you talk about it, and you're like, dude, like, you know, we bottomed out at this one spot because it got just way too shallow. We didn't know, you know, we bottomed out the boat while we were fishing. That's one thing. But if you film your intro at the end of the trip, and then at the beginning of the video, you're like, let's go somewhere where we don't know if the boat is going to be able to handle it. How much more intriguing is that? You know?
Yep. I had a thought process and I lost it there for a second.
Kind of in that same boat. Go ahead.
And even though it's not as important anymore, there are still words in your channel that show up. It's not as big a result as it used to be. Like tags. Tags don't do as much for you as they used to. And your about section, like I said earlier, I am shit at writing. And YouTube, the algorithm, for some reason, the about section, you can't just throw a bunch of keywords in there and it be gibberish. They actually expect it to be a structured paragraph.
And they don't let you know how they do that, but they do. Yeah.
Right. So another advice is, if you know you're limited at something, or you know, like, okay, I'm probably not, I probably don't know as much about this as I should, ask.
Yep.
I've never one time been told, well, yeah, I have. And I should call her out, but I won't, out of nicety. One time, I've been told, and we both know her on Twitter, so I'll give you that one. One time,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Well, what can you do for me? Nothing, lady. What could anybody that helped you do? Could you do for them?
Yep.
You were freaking nobody. You know what I mean? But if you bring enough people along with you, guess what? There may be a time one day that I can return the favor tenfold. Like back when you did my live stream, I'd be like, well, Stanley, what can you do for me? And just, hey, yeah, man, come on. We'll see what we can do. Now,
you know what?
You can return the favor threefold.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be that guy. I've been committed to that since well before I ever did YouTube. But I am going to say, anybody who wants anything like that from me, you need to be invested in yourself. Don't come to me saying, how do I get more subscribers? That's a rookie move.
No.
If you're asking that question, then you're not asking the right questions. But if you ask the right questions and you come to me, yeah, you're my buddy, and we can have the talk.
Yeah, no.
But you got to at least have put in some research.
Well, I'm saying don't be scared to ask if they're legitimate.
Absolutely.
That
Yeah,
generic.
I
How
agree.
do I get more subscribers? Is that all you want to know? Make videos.
Yeah, exactly right.
Make content. So, but and not only that, but that question, that particular question, how do I get more subscribers? Put that in a YouTube search, and there'll be about 50 people who make videos daily about just that thing.
Not to mention, whatever I tell you, whatever answer I'm going to give you, you're not going to listen to it.
No.
You're not going to listen to me. You don't care what I say. You want a shout out. You want a couple of quick subscribers. You're not going to do. You're not my buddy. We're not going to be hanging out. And then you're gone.
Yep.
So just go ahead and be gone.
I think that was like the Pusa Studio days, back when everybody was bored and snowed in a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You
cold outdoors days. You remember the cold days?
Yeah.
I love that. I love the cold days. I met some wonderful, wonderful people.
Yeah.
I believe I met you on there.
You did. I met you. Cole was like a chat room. But then I think Cole's mistake was, and a lot of people make this mistake, and I'm not making fun of him individually. He put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Because Cole had a website. Cole was selling jigs. Cole was selling. He had merchandise and all that. Cole never made a damn outdoor video. I look back the other day. Cole Outdoors never went outside.
Well, he did, but it was so like hiking around in the backyard. There wasn't.
I mean, he never did. He never did any of these things. He never showed himself doing any of these things related to the crap he was selling.
I totally agree. Totally agree. Sadly, because I really did. I did enjoy the Cole Outdoors, that morning show that he would do for like 4 hours a day. Mm-hmm. I envied it. It was cool. Great people in there. He should have stuck with that if he physically could. And I understand if he can't physically do it, because that was a monumental task. And on top of that, it wasn't just him. You know, he had like Grant as his co-host every day. He rarely had anybody else as a secondary personality. A lot of people helped carry that.
I was on it a few times.
I was too. Several people were, but it was always, you know what I mean? It was like, it was Cole every morning. And then some people would pop on. You didn't have to follow the content schedule that he went through.
No, you didn't.
It all went downhill. But man, for a very short time, there was some value in the chat on those videos. Not the videos themselves per se. The information that was out there was really cluttered with nonsense commercials. The bitmap advertisements and stuff like that he liked to throw up on the screen. But man, the chat in there is super, super valuable. It's amazing looking back on it. I mean, is you, me, A&J Outdoors, Grant McIntosh, Darren's Northern Life, like Jag. I think Jag Fishing was in the chat on that. Farmall.
And Farmall Fanatic. Farmall Fanatic's another one of those. Like, I liked him back then, and now I've kind of drifted away from his channel. It's kind of like, oh.
I tell you what, I give him credit, and I'm not going to lie. I've not been a fan. I've never been vile. I've not been a fan of Farmall. But he made a strange transition from doing that whole stream growth thing to being a legitimate channel.
Yeah,
there are some other guys out there who did the stream growth thing, and now they are still doing YouTube videos, and they're getting 60 to 80 views a video. 7,000 subscriber channels that are doing that 3 years later, and they're getting 60 to 80 views a video.
I kind of wonder, sad. Actually, because I've got videos right now that are doing that 60, 80, 100, 100.
Yes, but you don't have 7,000 subscribers.
No. I get that. But
you know what I mean? You're holding par with somebody that's got also, nearly 10 grand.
Also, I kind of wonder if that was one of the mistakes I made because I went through that trend, I went through that fad.
Yeah, I think it's something we all made. Our videos pop at 140 days, and I firmly believe that's why. I firmly believe that's the reason why.
See, before that, when I was just making videos, and I didn't have like a set schedule or anything usually, but when I was just making YouTube videos, I wasn't all about the live streams and all that. And like this one is, like I said, I'm going to give this a couple of days for anybody that might want to rewatch it, and then it's unlisted. But when I was just making videos, I was reaching. I had one hit 500 in a week. And that's when I first started. I had one hit 500 in a week. I had one hit 400. I was getting at least 100 views a video in a week, and then I was getting like 400 was like my average. I was getting like 400 views in a week, and then the views would pop down. So I would get 400 the first week, and then it would take me like 2-3 months sometimes to get to 600 views, then etc. But when I started doing the live streams, that's when I started. I got a lot of growth off the live streams, and I got subscribers off of being on this guy's show and this guy's show and this guy's show, and that was all great. That was a real big thing for everybody to do, and I made a lot of connections. I am, for instance, with Darren's Northern Life this day. We talk weekly. Me and you talk probably about every other day. Me and you message each other about something. Hey, man, you seen this? Done this? So what do you think about this? So we've got that to bounce ideas off of each other. And, I think, like I was saying, I think I've made real friendships with some of these. And then the cold outdoor days and all that. But I also noticed when that fad ended, my videos were getting 50 views. And I'm wondering if.
I tell you what. I got a thought on that. For one, I will say, like, there has been other growth stream communities on the internet in YouTube. This is not the first time that's ever happened before. I think we did it better. I think the fishing guys are a more close-knit community than some of the other guys, like a video game community and things like that. They disperse a lot faster. Our guys stuck together. There's something to be said for the value in that. Now, does that mean it holds the test of time? Totally no. Those guys who have gained, and they've happened, but the guys who have gained like 4,000 subscribers as a result of PUSA, they are not getting 4,000 subscribers worth of views and value. A lot of those guys have fallen by the wayside. But our crew held it together. The guys from the Cold Outdoors days, they held it together a lot more than what you would typically see, I think. So I think there's been, we saw a lot more in views, a lot more actual support back then than what you would typically see. Now that did get dispersed, and there was other things behind the scenes that kind of happened with that deal that were, it was a little bit worse than it kind of looked as far as what was going on with Cole, but not terribly, but just a little bit worse than what it looked like on the outside. And yeah, I think that affected people's views, period. Like the after a little while, that group of people who was actually supportive, that even got narrowed down. So there's a little bit of rebuilding now. A year later, that crew, the ones who survived and pushed through, there's a little bit of work that has to be done, a little bit of reconstruction.
You want to acknowledge this, let this guy go, or?
I'm just now seeing it. I must ask, how does it feel to have your mustache inside your mouth? Not good. That is laziness on my part. I have had very little time to sleep or do any personal hygiene in the last month. Been on a little bit of a tour of Wisconsin and stuff down here. I do plan on getting shaved and cleaned up here maybe tomorrow. And how does it feel to be a big burly man that sips on wine? It feels like 2020. Not, you know what I mean? Not even close to being the worst thing that is going on right now.
Yes, how do I feel?
I'm cool with it.
I know, Army. I didn't kick you up. He said, "How you feel looking like Homer Simpson after he shaves?" The Simpsons is the longest running TV show on prime
There you
time
go.
in history. So if I
Yep.
have half of their success,
Ever.
I'm damn fine with it.
Exactly right.
You know? I'm just kidding. Okay.
It's
Hey,
all good. Hey, bring it. It's all good.
you didn't even make the best entrance of the night. I had a guy come in earlier saying he was an adult film star.
That's right.
That's how you enter a fucking room, goddammit.
Yeah, I am
And,
Peter North.
yeah, I'm here, and here's how big my cock is.
So, so congratulations on the second best introduction of the night.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Bruno E, whoever the hell you are, I do appreciate your attempt. You're livening it up a little bit.
Mar E. Oh, I wish I was a porn star. I'd be loaded.
Yeah, join the club.
I don't know if that's true.
Did those guys make a lot of money? I don't know about that.
I don't know, but who pays for porn anymore?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's free all over the place.
On my phone. I told a guy today I made a joke.
Right, heavy stringers, that's funny.
He's talking about Kanye West running for president. Like, I guess he got that way. Oh, Kanye West running for president. I said,
of course.
Is the new standard for being qualified to run for president is I've seen your wife naked?
What? What did you just say?
The president now and Kanye West, I've seen both their wives naked. Is the new standard for running for president is I've seen your wife naked?
Huh. Interesting query. What about Biden? Has anybody seen his wife naked?
Biden didn't win yet. The social media age.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not
Gross.
politics. It was a joke.
Right? No politics. Yeah, we're not going in that direction. Yeah. I will say I got about 5 more minutes here, and then I do have to have dinner.
I got you.
A bit late. I've been live streaming since I think like 4 o'clock this afternoon. I'm a little burned out here.
Loaded. Yeah. I got it. I got your double innuendo there, Marty.
It was appreciated. We've had a little bit to drink, so.
I know that we were talking about the guy that invented turtle noodling.
Yes.
You got nothing on that guy. I'm telling you, you can mop the floor with that guy's nuts. I'm sure there's a link somewhere.
Is that the Biden's wife comment, or is there other things that there are links to?
Please don't use the term president alongside Mr. West.
I don't even want to think about it. I do not get political, but that's not political. That falls into common sense. And I can comment on that. Please, that needs to not be a thing.
I don't know. Current president was a game show host, so who knows what happens.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to go in that direction. You ever imagine that you would wish for the days where politicians would win elections?
Nope.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd miss W. I'd take 4 more terms of W.
Right? You know? God, no kidding. That was so controversial back in the day. But yeah, I'll take W. Reagan. I made the same comment about Reagan. Nothing against Reagan. Not making that go in that direction or not trying to get political either. But man, Reagan, right?
The way 2020 is going, I'd take Reagan with Alzheimer's.
Yeah. I'll take that Reagan statue.
Yeah. What's the Uh, what's the Rottweiler puppet on Comedy Central? Whoever voices that fucker.
Yeah, is that Robert Smigel?
I have no idea.
I think it is. I think it's Robert Smigel. That's old Saturday Night Live, like 80s style, 90s style.
Anyway, this did get more political than I ever wanted it to.
That went south.
Yeah, I try not to do that, especially in our genre, man. Because
oh, I avoid it like the plague. I don't talk about it. I do. I'm just like everybody else. I have my political affiliations. I have the people that I voted for the last 39 years. That doesn't mean that I need to. I would encourage people to vote more than I would encourage them to vote for whatever I feel is the right decision. Get out there and do it. Despite, I think that crowds these days make far more poor decisions. But man, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, it's a lot more rough now than it was 20 years ago.
Mari, that is. I actually respect that comment. I miss W. Hell, I miss Clinton, even though I'm a Republican.
Yeah, I didn't like Clinton. I don't to this day. I don't like Clinton. I do like the political decisions of that era far more than I like them now.
I do like the balanced budget, and I did like the largest economic growth in the history of America.
Cannot argue with that. I am of a certain political persuasion, and I will, regardless, not argue with that comment. I will not disagree.
Yes. But, yeah, it's just, right now it's crazy.
Yeah. So, how long before Justin Bieber is president?
2027.
As soon as the coronavirus is done. And I just said it on your channel, so your whole channel is demonetized now.
Oh, I'm listening to this when we're done anyway. This isn't monetized anyway. And it might be funny. This might be the video that gets me to the watch hours monetization, and it would be taken down.
I would say wait a day before you take it down. Make sure that the watch time gets put under public. I don't know if that's a thing, but I know that you do want to make sure it's public.
Oh my God, you just sent some chills down my spine. Well, think about it. The wrestler Jesse the Body Ventura has been governor of Minnesota. The Terminator has been governor of California.
Now, that deserves an asterisk. That is California. And he is the governor.
Thank God he's Canadian. Oh, we're going to change that rule. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. He ran for president.
Yeah, that's gross.
We're going to change that rule. I'm sure Trump owes somebody a favor. And the host of The Apprentice is now president. Yep. And I've seen his wife naked.
This is where we live in today.
CNN is looking into your channel as we speak. Good.
Yeah.
I could use the promotion.
Right. Hey, you're gonna get some watch time out of that.
Look at CNN's YouTube page. They get 2 million. They get 2 million hits a video.
Do they run mid rolls? I'm curious about that. Do they run mids?
I have no idea. I don't actively search CNN or Fox.
I will be pissed if they run mid rolls. I will be mad about that.
They might. But
I bet they do.
It's what we was talking about earlier too. Now we can get kind of back onto YouTube. The thing about like YouTube right now, moving the goalposts and everything is, we're talking. Look at the homepage of YouTube right now. None of them are YouTubers.
Yeah.
It's all TV that they put on YouTube. You go, especially in this, the world on fire political environment. division that we all live in now. CNN's on it, Fox News is on it, MSNBC's on it, and then who's not on it is, and then that's not news networks. You got late night talk shows. What are all the late night talk shows about now?
Yeah, it's
all of them's intros are,
Yeah.
And then, matter of fact, the recommendation, YouTube recommendation, the number one or whatever, it's all music videos now. YouTube is the number one source of professional music videos now consumed.
A large portion of that is India.
Yeah. Which I'm going to have to
T-Series.
We didn't do it tonight, but I will talk to you about those translations.
Yeah, of course.
I think I'm leaving views on the table, not doing it.
Yeah, a lot of them. I see 17% is the numbers I see with that.
That's a good percent.
It's a difference. It makes a difference.
Well, let's say you have 200,000 views. If you increase that by 10%, that's 20,000 views.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we're talking to the tune of it would be the difference of 200,000 views and 234,000 views.
34,000 views is nothing to sneeze at.
You know what? The real value in that, though, 34,000 views, that's something. That's fine, whatever. But how many super fans, how many Patreon subscribers does it take out of that? If I got one, then it's totally worth it. One Patreon subscriber.
I have a Patreon because it was the thing to do. And then I think, again, it's another one of those Cole Outdoor Day mistakes. I never get anybody to go to it, and I just got tired of working it. So I guess it's still there. I don't even know if anybody ever joined. I guess it's still there, but it's I'm thinking, you know what? I should really build my channel, and then maybe if YouTube goes to pot again, then I'll go back to the Patreon. Or now
I gotta say,
memberships.
Okay, yeah. Now memberships is a different game. I much more prefer memberships.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would much prefer memberships. Obviously, I want to keep as much, tight rein on things. Patreon has done well recently for us. We do more on Patreon than we do on YouTube.
I can see that.
I would actually say that Patreon is probably the biggest earner for us right now. And I will say what I did not expect prior to Patreon. Patreon started for us, like we did a pretty smart deal. A couple of us all decided that we would join each other's Patreons so that it would show that we have Patreon members, so that, whoever would sign up is not going to be that first Patreon member. That was valuable because all of a sudden, a couple of us all did that. And when we did that, it was like, holy crap, that means we actually have to make content for this platform. Did not think about that. Was not aware of the work that had to go into that. So we all started doing some more content on there. And it did. It grew a little bit. It's like I said, I make more money on that than I do on YouTube right now. I was not aware of the amount of work that had to go in on that. Still kind of learning that curve. Like, thankfully, the people that are on there are very understanding, forgiving of us not being good at it. But man, there has been some drawbacks to it, but there's value in Patreon doing it right.
Maybe I'll give it another crack at it. Right now, like, I've got a real job. I'm trying to time is a thing, man.
Oh, I hear you on that.
I've got a family. That's what you gotta do, All right, it's 2:43:42 on this right now. 2:45. I'd like to kind of even things out, and then we'll wrap it up. You need to eat dinner, and I don't drink.
I am kind of wearing down just a hair.
That one beer is going to have to make me break the seal here in a second. But you're wearing down, so we got about another minute. If there's any last minute questions, and if we don't get to them, I'll leave this live stream up for couple of days because I didn't cuss till past the 3 minute mark. So I'm a former Marine, and I'm sad and deeply hurt to see American against American today. It wasn't like that, and never was like that since the Civil War, where a brother fought against brother. Um, yeah, there are a lot of things I disagree with about America today, and but I'm not a political channel, so I really try to avoid that here. Um, you guys are all right. Hey, I appreciate that, Marty.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I'll put it this way: Kelly votes. Kelly stays informed. Kelly has political beliefs. Kelly leans one way or the other about things. The character I play, blue collar fishing, he don't do any of those things because I need that character to appeal to as many people as possible.
Yeah, watch what you say.
Yeah. So I try, and one of the things that can really either, make you grow or implode your channel is political divide. And in our realm, some of my beliefs probably don't line up to what some of those guys are they're pretty on fire about their beliefs. And I respect your right to believe it. Just don't expect me to.
Yeah, I don't know. Political things are so different nowadays than they used to be 20 years ago. And maybe it's always been like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just now like an adult where I can understand it. Entirely possible. I'm not the biggest fan of political like party representation. I think we need a bipartisan, we need a two-party system. I've chosen my side. More than that, I don't really care about the side as much as just get out there and make a political decision. It's voting season coming up. You can start hearing these ads. Make a decision, and don't just do it because you like somebody's pretty face. Understand the political ramifications of the vote you're casting. Make an intelligent decision. I don't care if you're going to vote for what I believe or anybody else. Make an intelligent decision. Be researched on what you're doing, and then vote for who I say you should vote for.
Okay. Mari, he says, and I'll get to this real quick before we end. Mari says, I won't get you in deep doo-doo. I promise to drop it. Mari, okay, first off, as long as you're not being like, you came in here and you made a joke and you were being a little ruffling some feathers, and we didn't take it personally. Okay, that's kind of funny. You know what I mean? As long as you're not being vicious to other people about it. I mean, you came in here and told me you're a Republican and you don't like where the country's headed, and I appreciate that. So as long as you're not being vicious about it or anything like that, I don't really care what you ask me. Feel free to ask me anything. Some things I may not answer. Some things I may skip. I may not. I don't care what you say in the chat box as long as it's not something that's going to get me in trouble with YouTube. I'm just saying, like, so you feel free to express yourself any way you want to, as long as it's not in a vile manner or something that's going to damage, that YouTube's going to be like, no, that's a naughty word. You can't do that here. That's going to damage me. What I'm saying is, especially in this political environment, personally, there are people, maybe you're like that. I am. You've gotten, and it's caused damage in relationships with family. It's caused damage in relationships with friends that you've been friends with in high school. It's like, I have never seen people so dyed in the wool around whether you like a politician or don't. It's like, well, if you don't like this guy, then goddamn it, you're wrong, and I'm not your friend anymore. Fuck. So, like, you're going to throw away a 40-year relationship because I don't like this guy? You didn't know who the fuck this guy was until 3 years ago.
Yeah, and sadly, like, I kind of lean, my upbringing, I'm punk rock. Like, that's how I grew up, was on, Black Flag, Ramones, and Pennywise, NoFX, that kind of stuff. the one of the larger influences of my upbringing was punk rock music, and they all suck. You know, all the political parties suck. They're all terrible. Just you gotta, you know, you're choosing whoever you think is the worst of the lesser of two evils at this point. Not every time, but at certain times, that's what you're looking at. So I don't know. Research the issues. Know what you're doing when you're going into like voting. Don't just vote on a party because it's a party. Actually know the issues and go in there and make your votes.
How often do you go live? It's kind of sporadic. It's not. We're not. Neither one of us are live channels. That's not our forte. We actually go out and create content. And we were actually talking about this earlier. Sometimes the lives hurt your channel. So
yeah, you gotta be careful with them.
But if you do want to know what you, my best advice to give you is if you're on Twitter or Facebook, we both are. I have an Instagram. I don't know if you do. I think you do. Yeah. So both of us, Stanley Orchard and Blue Collar Fishing, we're on these other social media platforms, and Twitter is my biggest one. So if you're on Twitter, go follow me on Twitter, and then every time I go live, I usually paste and notify over there. I don't have a set live schedule. It's just sporadic, spur of the moment. Me and Stanley became friends back in these live days, and we talk to each other about every other day now, we were saying. And we had a couple of questions, and we both said, hey, let's do it live, and we'll ask these questions to each other and kind of kill two birds with one stone, gain a little watch time, we'll get to hang out, see each other, and answer these questions. So, but live is not our forte. It's not something we do all the time, so. We'll do next time. We'll talk more fishing. You are completely glad to talk fishing, and you're completely free to have your opinion and ask questions. I'll be like, that's not really something I'm comfortable answering, or I'll answer it. Okay.
And I will add to that too. I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt. I will add to that too. Normally, either one of us, whenever we do any kind of live or the content that we do on our channels, 99% of the time that is fishing that we're talking about. Tonight we had discussed earlier, like a couple of days ago, talking about going live together, and it wasn't even about going live together. We had both had some information we wanted to disseminate about YouTube in general, because they changed things, and we both had two different perspectives, and we kind of wanted to get on the same page and discuss a few things and talk about it. And we figured, we can do that via a DM somewhere on some platform, or we can sit here face to face and do it on a live stream and kind of have some fun with it. And we decided to go that direction with it. It wasn't intended to be like a political thing or anything like that. It was just kind of like an opportunity to hang out and have a drink and just kind of, do a little social distancing hangout. It's kind of like a little bit more of a social norm these days. Yeah. But normally it's more about fishing. Tonight was intended to be a YouTube talk, and that's not the norm.
And it did go several different ways. Some fishing was there, and I just, man, it's hard for me to be comfortable with political things. I'm not a political channel, so it's. And I've got my political reservations. I've made some dumb decisions in the past. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not going to say that anybody else needs to do anything political as a result of my beliefs. But yeah, political, not a fun discussion to actually have, especially on like on a volatile, especially in these divisive
community.
Seriously, you two are all right. True Americans with true American ideas. Appreciate it. Hoorah. He said he was a Marine.
Yeah, appreciate your service. Thank you.
Well, he says he's a former Marine, but you're never a former Marine.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing. I don't care if you're former or anything. I thank you for your service. Noodling Turtles, oldest brewery. Thumbnails. Justin Bieber for President, Biden's naked wife, old porn film star, many more. You're right. This has been a broad subject range. Any one of those is a podcast.
That made. I'm sorry. I'm going to jot down those ideas because that turtle noodler guy.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, now I'm going to make him a Marine.
He needs to be. I like that. I like that angle.
Mari, we talked earlier about where I live. I live in Pennsylvania. I don't know where you're from. I live in Pennsylvania, and Stanley's from Texas. In Pennsylvania, I did a video not too long ago called "Everything's Illegal in Pennsylvania," and it's actually illegal in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to noodle catfish. Like catch catfish with your hand, that's illegal. But it is perfectly legal. They actually have regulations for it in the Commonwealth Outdoorsman guidebook you get with your license to noodle turtles.
Yep.
You can't noodle catfish, but you can noodle turtles. So I want to meet the guy who came up with noodling turtles. Because I guarantee you that sumbitch was Marine that stormed Omaha Beach. You can mop the floor with his balls. They drag across the floor when he walks. You know?
What bored son of a bitch came up with that?
He could kick Chuck Norris's ass. You know?
I want to know what beer he drank and how he was able to run his car off it.
It goes never ex-Marine, but a former Marine. What's Marine? Always Marine. I've heard that by a lot of Marine friends.
Yes, sir.
I have I'm from a military family, so. And my grandfather did storm Omaha Beach. Literally.
Oh, mine was a forward observer. I don't even like talking about that because he's like blows me out of the water on his accomplishments.
My grandfather was 5'7" on his best day. He's always been a bigger man than me.
Yeah, exactly right.
All right. Well, we're going to actually, I went past that 45 mark now. Man. Get distracted. But we're going to wrap it up. I'm not even going to worry about the even number. I have this thing about even numbers. I got a little OCD on that. But we're going to wrap it up tonight. Hey, Stanley, brother, thanks for coming in tonight. I appreciate hanging out with you. It's always a blast.
Always a pleasure, man. I enjoy every minute of it. I wish we actually, I don't wish we need to do it more often.
Yeah. We'll get Pond and Heavy back in here some nights. They're a lot of fun, too.
Marty, thank you guys for joining us. You made it a lot of fun.
I should. Mari, I even enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for the compliments, man. Thanks for not heading this where I thought you were going.
Where it very easily could have gone.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. But guys, get out this weekend if you can. If the weather's going to cooperate, catch some fish, get on the water, go have some fun. If you can at all, be with your friends, and if you can't, be with them in spirit. Good night, everybody. Hey, make sure you go check out Stanley Orchard's channel. I'm telling you guys, he is making some bangers lately. He is really grinding it out. He's trying to get there. Heavy Stringers, I'm down. Good night, y'all. Good night, Heavy. Heavy Stringers,
guys.
Feel free to check anybody out in the chat. I don't care about that. So feel free to check anybody out in the chat. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Enjoy your weekend, guys. Kelly, thank you, man.
You're welcome. Go watch a video.